ALR, we're here in silver, and we are here in Shanghai then for the Chinese Grand Prix. And let me just make sure I'm spectating, because I've just noticed there's 21 drivers in this lobby, which is a bit of a worry. Oh, it's done. Yeah, so it's Shanghai, it's China, it's Monday, and it is race day indeed then for the second division of ALR, and the second time then we'll be racing around this beautiful international circuit, isn't it, here in Shanghai. Right then, of course, there's 16 turns then around this 3.3 mile track. Michael Schumacher holds the lap record way back in 2004. The lap record at the moment in silver circumstances, actually Jake Wilson, he had a 32.590. So good stuff indeed there from Jake, which I think that's a quicker lap record than it was in gold last night, if I'm not very much mistaken. Then so impressive stuff indeed there from Wilson. Then goodness me, then you're a very chatty old bunch in there tonight, aren't you? Good gosh, I ain't gonna be able to keep up. Good job that I've been listening to Beyonce here tonight. Right then, we're almost ready to get going then. Let's take a look at the drivers and the constructors standings then. And it is X-Gamer, who is more than double the points in front of Troye, who's actually gone from, has actually jumped up 9 positions from 10th to 2nd there. That incredible win last time out. And he stopped the domination, which was X-Gamer going for 3 Grand Prix race wins in a row, wasn't he, yet last week? But Troye stopped it as well. Really impressive stuff indeed. It looks like Gamer as Achilles heel might be the rain then perhaps, and there has been a lot of there was a lot of rain last night. We expect more of the same again here tonight. I wouldn't bet against it, because Shanghai is usually a track which has a lot of rain. Looking back on classic races here, it has rained more often than not, hasn't it, around China. Going back to the championship, we got New Potatoes moved from 5th to 3rd. That he is 39 points away though at the moment from a Gamer. Welsh Maldonado, we all know her as a Rempo, but now she's decided to go with Maldonado. She is at 4th at the moment now. Then we got Curly in 5th position, both those two Welsh drivers there, getting on the podium for the first time in their careers in the first 2 opening rounds, and unfortunately have dropped down 2 positions. That Steve was magnificent last week and deservedly got driver of the day as well. He's moved up 7 positions and he is 6th. Serious Mushroom 7th, and FIFA Beefy dropping down 4 positions. F1 2019 going up 1 position. Baz dropping down at 4 as well. Nigel moving up 6 positions as well, and good stuff indeed there for Nigel. And we've got everywhere. Only 4 drivers have failed to score so far in this incredible. That's rain. Oh goodness me, it's a damp start in here in China. And what did I say? And even before we even got into the lobby then, who's expecting rain? But goodness me, right from the bat, we have the moisture coming out of the sky as well. I would say though that a lot of drivers probably would have have had a rain practice session, at least one, maybe even more than one, to be fair. So the drivers should be quite prepared then. In the constructors then, Mercedes is currently leading the way at the moment, and oh gosh, there is let me quickly get onto my Wi-Fi there, as I've completely messed that up there. Oh dear. There we go. Lovely stuff indeed then. As I've now got stuck on pause then. Hang on a minute, I've broke my stream. Hang on. It's working! Great. Right, Mercedes are first in the constructors and 18 points in front of Renault, who is second. Red Bull have moved up into third. There's no action out on the track at the moment, which suggests to me that the rain is either stopping or, well, I think it's stopping, to be honest, because if it's getting worse, then you need to be on track pronto. Red Bull are up 3 positions. They're up to third now. McLaren have dropped down 1. Alfa Romeo 5th. Haas in 6th. Ferrari dropping down 3. They're 7th now. Williams moving up to 8th position with Alfa in 9th, and 10th position is Racing Point, yet to get off the mark, unfortunately, for that team. And of course, we also have the joint constructors as well. This is how the standings were after Vietnam. And of course, I haven't added the old points on yet, because I'm not very quick at the old math. But Renault are leading in one. They're 37 points in front of Mercedes, who is second. Third position is the Alfa Romeo team. 4th is the McLaren. Then we've got the team on screen at the moment, which is the Haas cars. They're 5th. Of course, Haas have got an incredible. I think the rain's getting heavier, to be honest, isn't it? It looks heavier to me out there. The Haas team, of course, are in folklore now, aren't they, in silver after German's incredible performances last season. Remember, Haas won 8 Grand Prix race wins in a row. You're going to get fed up with me saying it, but it's absolutely incredible, isn't it? I think it is it's a shearing. That's just incredible to me, isn't it? Especially in league racing. In modern day Formula 1, you do see like a lot of records like that. Of course, Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton have been dominant since the hybrid era began, really, apart from that little blip in 2016. But in league racing, you don't get that as much you. So absolutely phenomenal stuff indeed. Red Bull is 6th, Alpha Tauri 7th, Racing Point are 8th, and all those points are coming from Gold and Knowlesy, of course, who's won 2 Grand Prix in Gold thus far. Ferrari in 9th, and Williams completes the top 10 of the joint constructors as well then. So we'll keep an eye on that as the event unfolds as well. On board F1 2019, and he is just coming down the back straight then and into turn 14 as well. So it's light rain at the moment then, but I gotta say, didn't look too heavy in the pit lane. But as we're on board with F1 2019 now, he's been on the podium 3 times in his career in silver. He hasn't been on podium since he's returned back to silver. So F1 2019 would love to get back up there on the rostrum, won't he? He's in car 15 in the Haas as he is going around at turn 1. We got a couple of comments then. We got Becca, who's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So yes, good stuff indeed then. His German carries on the numbers as well. I'm not going to read it all. We got Gamer is saying evening, hello Gamer. Ayrton, hello Sean, good evening Ayrton. Gordo, also hello Gordo. Gunnar saying good luck Silver. Gurman is reckons it's going to be Curly for the win tonight then. Of course, Curly has never won a Grand Prix in silver yet, but he has been on the podium now. He's had a bit of a come in, hit the ground with a bit of a bump, hasn't he, in the last 2 races. Bahrain and of course in Vietnam as well. He had a bit of a nightmare, so hopefully Curly can get back on the horse and back on it like a car bonnet. We have got Curry saying no, stop it. Diashi, hello ladies and gentlemen as well. Dry race out for Gordo as well. So they are very happy about that, but it's a wet session so far. Race of sim now. Let's go Curly Red then. And serious much of evening, all good stuff indeed then. Keep your comments coming in, guys. So in qualifying 1 then, we are going to be losing the 3 slowest drivers. Well, the 4 slowest drivers are Bradfield out of qualifying already, as it is a qualifying ban, I think, for Bradfield, as he's not even emerged out of the garage unless he doesn't want to get his feet wet, perhaps. Let's be able to show the shot here from F1 2019 as he breaks down then the biggest braking point on the circuit as that 1.2 mile back straight. I think it's 1.2 mile. I really need to look into that, don't I? Because I say this every time I'm commentating around here. I'm not sure it's 1.2 or 1.5. I'm sure it's 1.2, but every time I go the opposite, it doesn't seem to work out for me. F1 2019 is going faster. He's done a 8.24 to start us off. And what about his teammate Gordo? He comes across the line. He is 10th or 2nd behind at the moment. Now Gordo doing a fantastic job this season once again. I think Gordo has scored in every single race that he's participated in this season. We're 3 for 3 that he's had 2 8th positions and a 10th position as well. Good 7th there from Gordo. Ayrton is a 2nd off the pace at the moment in the Alpha Tauri there, and the beautiful yellow helmet there, and of course the Ayrton Senna colours as well. Absolutely love it there for Ayrton as he is going into turn 1. Steve is joining the session now. Here comes Maldonado, which is aka Rembo. She has done a 45-1 so far for Rembo. I'm going to keep saying her name, ain't I? For Maldonado there, of course. Maldonado, unfortunately, in this racetrack has not really had it's not the best of times around here, has he? Of course, he crashed when he was looking he spun very awkwardly, didn't he, in one practice session, and he crashed into the barrier in practice 2, I think it was, so that was not very good for Maldonado, was it? Fran has gone 5th fastest. Curly has jumped up into 5th fastest moment, but it's Wilson, who's not only got the lap record around here, but it's also got the fastest lap in qualifying 1 as well, as he gets right out of the way. Wilson, remember his last season was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? So hopefully he can get himself going this season on board then at the moment. So Steve is in the session late then, but luckily he can get control of his car and he will be out in just a jiffy. I have no doubt about that as well. I'm just taking a look to see where there's Diashi, but oh goodness me, he has spun it there, Diashi, and that is a shame. Of course, Diashi is 1 of 2 4 drivers that hasn't scored a point yet this season, which I find absolutely astounding now, because remember Diashi was absolutely fantastic in the in his season last season for bronze. Remember, this is a step up to silver this season now for Diashi, but I did expect a bit more from Diashi, but I'm being a bit harsh, I think, there, because this is only the 4th race in there, and this is you've really got to start applying your trade, though, don't you, as we get into these more of the traditional Formula 1 races there, because we've had Australia and Vietnam to start off this season, haven't we? And they are not exactly the traditional, the most traditional circuits, are they? Troye was unstoppable in Vietnam last week. That was his first Grand Prix win in his ALR career. I think he had a pole position in bronze before, but Troy was unstoppable there. He was superhuman, and you had to, I think someone had to be in a superhuman type mood there if they wanted to get past, if they wanted to beat Gamer, because Gamer was just absolutely unstoppable, wasn't he, in the last few races or so. And here he is now in the World Championship leader, almost double the points there. He's 34 points in front of his nearest contender at the moment, which is Troy A. He is second fastest moment, but Serious Mushroom has the early advantage so far, and Sean Hammers has gone the second fastest moment. He is 3/10 of a second in front of Gamer, only 2/10 of a second behind Serious Mushroom. FIFA BP has now just eclipsed them all, and he is fastest in the Ferrari. And good stuff indeed then from FIFA Beefy. Baz there has just started his lap. Well, he hasn't just started his lap, he's into the double left-hander now then in the AlphaTauri. His teammate Ayrton is currently the slowest of the time runner so far then. So I think Ayrton is still out on track. He's going for a second bite of the cherry now. I think he must have made a mistake somewhere. Ayrton hasn't. I think he is out on circuit. We got Steele just starting his lap as well, and he came in a bit late then. Now here comes that new potato then. He is also 13th as well then. So a couple of slow starters here in this session so far. On board then with Ayrton. Lovely with the shoulder shot. I absolutely love this. It's not a T-cam, is it really? It's kind of like on the rollover hoop, isn't it? Ayrton coming out of turn 14 as well. This rain doesn't seem to be, it seems to be a steady intensity, this rain is. So it's not easing off at the moment there, but it's not getting heavier, I don't think either. Ayrton is a second and a half down at the moment then, so as Troy has improved and back up into fourth fastest at the moment then. Someone else has just jumped up as well whilst I've been waffling away. It is Baz who is now from to 10th position as well. Serious Mushroom has gone faster still then. There's a lot of traditional wet weather qualifiers out there on board with Steve as he is coming through the long tyre killer turn 13 then, and down the back straight. RDW has also started his lap as well. What do I mean by traditional wet weather qualifier? A lot of drivers would have put a lot of fuel in the car and would just be circulating around then. Of course, there it's all more about confidence than it is about the car condition. In these conditions, of course, well, of course, you do need a stable car more often than not in these conditions. But it is more about the driver's confidence, isn't it? So fueling up the car and just keep going round and round there. You will get quicker in theory. Steve is going to go for another lap by the looks of him, because that lap has not counted there for Steve. So he's had a bit. He's come a cropper there. RDW then is struggling to keep the car onto the grass. There, RDW is, and he's really wrestling with that car at the moment, and there's an AlphaTauri there just getting by. Well, this man at the moment, Serious Mushroom there, is absolutely flying out there. He's 3/10 of a second up in the second sector. He's 2/10 of a second up in the first intermediate split time as well. Serious Mushroom is then going into this season. I think the Serious Mushroom was one of the I think it was one of the favourites. Bearing in mind he was third in the driver standards last season, wasn't he? Serious Mushroom was. He was consistency absolutely magnificent. It really was. Of course, I think we also had Gamer high on that list as well, didn't we? Because of his incredible end to the season there in Brazil. But of course, the way he started this season, I don't think anyone would have even thought about Gamer's absolute incredible start to this season. He is magnificent, isn't he, Gamer? He looked good in Brazil, didn't he? Really thrown the gauntlet down. But this season, I think he's even more strong than what a lot of drivers thought he would be. So I think that Gamer there has really come from nowhere. But it's great to see. I love it when the drivers really find the sweet spot. Nigel also out on circuit as well. He is the first ever ALR world champion. On board with Steed and down the back straight. No DRS in these wet weather conditions. And of course, it is deemed not to be safe there, is it? As we are screaming down the back straight as well. Killian saying, "Hello guys, it's Pouldu. Good luck. Good evening, Killian." Then, of course, Pouldu is actually driven in the last two silver races as well. And I think in Vietnam he did a very good drive as well, didn't he? Unfortunately, he didn't get any points in the end there, but he was very close. And Steed goes second fastest there, and continuing on with his very fine run of form. He's been very unlucky, hasn't he, the last couple of races, Steve. But if he gets this weekend, if he gets this event right here tonight, I think he could see another first-time winner in the form of Steve. At the moment, though, his new potato has only got one win to his name in silver, which I find absolutely astounding, and the former bronze world champion. But of course, that win was in the Japanese Grand Prix, wasn't it? If I'm not very much mistaken. But new potato has got the pace, but he's been very unlucky as well. The likes the same with the likes of Steve. Blatant Rage saying, "Curly, get back in, get back on the car bonnet." Then we've also got Becca Maldonado was truly pants said. Diashi, Sean, don't put me under pressure now. No, goodness me. I'll try not to, my good man, then. But at the moment, Diashi has not got any. It's not got time on the board, has he? So there is a bit of pressure there for Diashi at the moment. Maldonado was he wasn't a very good driver, was he? Really, if you think about it in a nutshell. But he did win the Spanish Grand Prix, and that's quite the frustrating thing about Pastor Maldonado, isn't it? Really, he seems to, as Nigel goes, only 15th fastest on that latest effort. That is not a. It's Diashi there is on the grass at the moment now. Of course, we are aiming to lose 5 drivers, and Bradfield is already out. Then Diashi is not set time. Roscoe's back in the pits as well. Ayrton is still circulating at the moment now. He is still on the 5-lap out intermediate tires, but he is also in the dropout zone as well. So he is going to have to find some more time in that AlphaTauri. Here comes the second Italian team on the grid. It is the most famous team as well. It's the Ferrari. It is Nigel, his teammate FIFA Beefy, driving the wheels off his Ferrari at the moment. They're fantastic stuff there from FIFA Beefy. Obviously, that's not literally, because if he did have no wheels on the car, he would be going nowhere. Albeit you probably would need. I think a boat would probably be better out here, wouldn't it? Rather than these Formula 1 cars. It is quite damp out there, to say the least. Nigel there is all out of shape there, isn't he? Goodness me, he was definitely. It looked like he was resting the bear in that Ferrari. I think the rain is getting worse as well. So a lot of drivers are going to be very, very concerned indeed if that is the case there, because the more the rain comes down, the slower the track conditions are going to be. Hang on a minute, I've got to adjust my hairband. There we go. I can now see clearly now the hair is gone. Nigel then is going to be getting out of the way then, and there is Welsh Maldonado back on circuit as well. She is doing the same tactic as Ayrton. They are still on the same intermediate tire, so just going round and round then. Maldonado is currently in the top 15, of course, but she is about 0.5 of a second away from Nigel, which is the drop zone at the moment then. About second in front of Ayrton as well, so Ayrton needs to find a second. Ayrton would need to find, well, not find a second now, just find 0.3 of a second Ayrton does to get himself back into the, out of the drop zone, really, isn't it, really, for Ayrton at the moment, and that's what he needs to find. Can he do it then? He has got, I say he's got plenty of time, he's only got 3.5 minutes to go in this session, so he's really got to get himself going now, doesn't he? Here's Diashi, who hasn't set a time yet, nor has Roscoe either. Diashi there is spun it, he's in the wall there. Oh dear, that's a lot of damage on the racing point. This is going to be the second casualty, I think, in qualifying. Oh dear, Diashi on the racing point. The difficult start for Racing Point and Silver is continuing on. FIFA has gone fastest and in the Ferrari. His teammate there will be looking nervously backwards. FIFA is looking forwards at the moment. Lovely salmon pink helmet as well. Yes, and 2/10 second in front of the bronze world champion there, FIFA. FIFA has been absolutely, I think, since doing a reserve role last season, it's really impressed there. It's really pushed him on a couple of notches, hasn't it, in his terms of his skill level. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then we got a Racing Point who's having troubles there, and goodness me, talking to Maldonado, Diashi is trying to replicate Maldonado's crash into the wall in 2014 there in practice. Of course, my great hero Lewis Hamilton unfortunately beached his car there in 2007 as well, which ultimately cost him the World Championship, unfortunately. Diashi, I think he might be out of qualifying. He's got 2 minutes there to get his car. Well, he hasn't got 2 minutes. He has to get around before the 2 minute before the clock ticks down. Then both the Racing Points are in major trouble at this stage of proceedings, and Baz is now starting his lap as well before accelerating out of the long turn 3. Eric is saying, Nigel, my hero. He is everyone's hero, isn't he? Nigel is at the moment. He is in 15th, so he's through into qualifying 3. Qualifying 3? Well, I'm jumping way too ahead of myself. Qualifying 2, of course, then Steers retired from the session. He's up and up. One and done there. And see, has just banged in a time then. He is happy there. He's put his feet up there. He's very happy with life then. Nigel's improved, and he's gone improved by 0.3 of a second as well. Eric is going to be delighted with that performance there from Nigel, and I think Nigel will be as well. Baz is a 10th of a second down in the first split time now. That is not what Baz wanted then. What about the second time then? Baz, I think that he was very unlucky last time, wasn't he? He has got 12 points to his name. Baz has his 2/10 second up in the second intermediate split time then. Diashi, I can't complete a lap then, is he's getting very frustrated that Diashi has said on these wet weather conditions, but by the looks it's going to be a dry race, and so I think a lot of drivers are going to be compromising setups here then. So I think that, of course, the race is where you get the points, not qualifying. Of course, qualifying is just determining the grid and where you're starting, as New Potato's retired from the session then, but he is in the pits, I believe, so he's nice and dry, that potato is. But yes, it is the, of course, lining up the grid, isn't it? So there's no points in qualifying, not like Formula 2. 2. So yes, I think that you really you cannot compromise your strategy, your setup for qualifying alone, and you need a better race setup in my opinion. Baz has gone up into 9th faster, he's gained 3/10 of a second. Maldonado has retired, but she is safe and sound in the pits. Curly has improved dramatically, he's over to 8th fastest, good stuff indeed. Ayrton is just starting his lap as well. Ayrton is, I think Ayrton might be seeing the end of this qualifying session. Let's go on board with Ayrton now then. So the pressure is very much on Ayrton, the local man from Turkey. He is in the AlphaTauri. Of course, he's gone from Turkey all the way over to China. Let's see what the AlphaTauri car can do then. He is 8,900 a second down the first split. The first split is not the most critical. It's the second split. It is here, and this is where it's going to be the most difficult. And I think Wilson's just popped himself up into 6th position. Good 17th there from Wilson. Ayrton there into the S's as well then. Look how gingerly he's going as well. And you can see they're just not staying too much on the front there. I think Ayrton does have a dry setup on just by judging of how light the back end is, and into the second of the double left-handers as well. And you can see correcting the car. The checker flag has fallen, and look at that. Then that is a horrific conditions out at the moment. He's 5,200 a second down in the second split. He's a 10th of a second away. Ayrton is there from getting into qualifying 2, and bearing in mind he's got to find 6/10 of a second on the final part of the track as well. If he has got a dry setup on, this is where he can really make or break us up. It does also depend on what Nigel and Fran set up as well. We're back on board with Ayrton. The checker flag has fallen. I think I'm out of sync, and I probably am, because I think Diashi has started this up as well. Ayrton now into the hairpin as well. Checker flag's fallen. Ross goes out. Bradfield's up. That's 20th and 19th. That is the final row of the grid. We have got an all racing point, an all pink row 9 there of RDW and Diashi. Then someone's just popped themselves up. I think it's Gamer. Ayrton is through into qualifying 2. A fantastic final sector there from Ayrton. Really snuck it in there. And Nigel is out of qualifying. That's a huge shock there for the former ALR world champion. Oh my word then. The checker flag has fallen as well. That's a magnificent performance there from Ayrton. But there is a sting in the tail perhaps, and it is Diashi, but he's really starting to keep the car on the circuit. Diashi is heading. He's currently 18th fast at the moment there. RDW is 17th fast as the Racing Point team having a bit of a nightmare start. That was an Alfa Romeo off the track there. It's Fran. Fran is off, but he might just be okay as he reverses back on the track, back on board with Diashi. We're looking the wrong way. Let's look forward. There's no point in looking backwards, is there? And he is now breaking down there just at that the 50-meter board. That's incredible, isn't it? The brake horsepower on these cars is absolutely electrifying. Diashi out to turn at 14 as well into 16. It's a very tricky final right-hander, isn't it, to finish off the lap there. No DRS there, as I said, a lovely shot. Diashi is 17th fastest, but he's out of qualifying. He's moved up 1 position there, and he will be on the cleaner side of the grid then for the race later on then. So that might help him later on in the session there as well then. I think Ayrton had a standout performance there, really left it all on the table there. He is through into qualifying 2. Good stuff indeed there for Ayrton, and goodness me there. I think Ayrton might have been sweating a bit there. Fran might have also been sweating as well. He made a mistake, but he is through into qualifying 2 as well. Good stuff indeed there. Unfortunately, we have lost Nigel then, who is lost out by 200 to a second between himself and Ayrton. Diashi out qualifying as well. Unfortunately, just couldn't get a lap hooked up together there, could he? And in the end, I think he'd be very happy to get that lap in, but I think Diashi, if he got a couple more laps in earlier on, he might have snuck through there. RDW out qualifying. He's down at 18th position there. Bradfield and Roscoe not saying times there on the final row of the grid then. I'm just trying to catch up with my with my comments there. Yeah, Serious Merchant saying it's a dry race, by the way. Yes, good stuff indeed. Then Diash saying, can I leave it just like that? I don't want to race here. So Diash, not a fan of this Shanghai International Circuit, is he? And it does seem that way as well with his difficult qualifying performance. Out of qualifying is Roscoe and Bradfield. That is 20th and 19th on the grid. 18th and 17th is at all racing point row 9. 16th position is Nigel, the former ALR world champion, out of qualifying as well. Ayrton getting through by the slimmest of margins there, 200 of a second then, and look at how close it was there, and 100 of a second in front of Ayrton was Fran. My word then. And the same with Gordo. He was only 100th up as well. Goodness gracious me then. Gordo, Fran, Ayrton and Nigel separated by less than a twinkling of an eye. Absolutely great stuff indeed then. Hero and Zero stuff then. Gamer saying Mushroom is absolutely flying out there at the moment. And Serious Mushroom saying it's because it's wet. So Serious Mushroom there, we wishing it would be a wet race as well. But what it sounds like, it is not a wet race, is it? But of course, you can't take many liberties with the weather here in Shanghai. As I've already mentioned on the broadcast already, the history of Shanghai, we have had a lot of wet races over there, haven't we? Of course, 2006 I think was a wet race, and Fernando Alonso really struggled that day, didn't he? And I think it was Michael Schumacher who took his final Grand Prix win of his career, his 91st and final one in the conditions which very much suit Michael Schumacher, doesn't it? Of course, he's made a MO of his career of having incredible wet race performances, doesn't he? Michael Schumacher there really taking the championship almost down to the wire there. He got it going to Japan anyway before his engine blew up in just under the crossover, unfortunately, in 2006. We also had, I think we had a wet race in 2007 as well, and of course that hampered Lewis Hamilton's performance, and he got beached into the gravel of into the gravel of the pit in there as Gordo is taking my novel line there, as I normally also take a shortcut as well. As Gordo there is just a shortcut now and going on to the shorter layout here in Shanghai. But Gordo is on his way nonetheless. Of course, the lap do not count then, as he is on an out lap at the moment, Gordo is. But yes, in 2007 we had a very wet old race around here, didn't we? I think was there a wet start to 2008 as well, if I'm not very much mistaken. It might have been, but 2009 was definitely a wet race, wasn't it? Goodness me, and it was the first wet race. It's the first race win for Red Bull as well. Absolutely magnificent stuff. There is a Red Bull 1-2 as well, with Sebastian Vettel winning his second Grand Prix of his career. Mark Webber getting second as well. It was magnificent. That was the first time that Braun in that season was beaten, and the first time in the career as well that Braun was beaten there. I think it was also a wet dry race in 2010 as well, where Button there once again mastered conditions there, and he took his second Grand Prix win for McLaren there. Goodness me, that we're going through a lot of wet race anyway. I don't think there's been a wet race since though. I think there was a wet start in it wasn't in 2013, that was Malaysia, wasn't it? So yeah, I think that was the last wet race in China, or deemed to be a damp circuit. Anyway, that's a brief trip down memory lane. That's it, memory lane now. Gordo taking a very wide line to the final corner there. I ain't going to affect him too much for the start of his lap. Once again, both the Haas cars are out quite quickly, as now Gordo starts up, followed by F1 2019 as well. Gordo absolutely torpedo in it into turn one. And torpedo, this is where Danny Fiat got his name, wasn't it, when he torpedoed into the start of in the opening race, in the opening lap, wasn't it, in 2016. Unfortunately, that was the second to last Grand Prix in the Red Bull, wasn't it, before he's demoted there. So which is unfortunate for Danny Fiat, wasn't it? But as Vettel called him the torpedo, didn't he? Which has basically was lived with him ever since then. Blatant rage there, There's a somber fun guy as well on it in the wet. Then he is indeed a serious Russian there. He is a fun guy. We got Gunnar as well, still lovely up Russian there. Thanks Gunnar, mate, as well. Of course, I think that Gunnar and Serious Russian, I'd love to see them to his teammates one day. They have got a very nice bromance brewing, haven't they? Lovely stuff indeed. Then Gordo is on the well, he's not on the back straight just yet. Then he's coming into the second intermediate split time, which is just before that turn, and he is away. He goes as well. The rain is still a steady intensity, isn't it? I think that they call it like intensity 2 or something like that, don't they, in the engineers room. All we know is it's light rain, isn't it? Albeit it is getting heavier there, and you can see off the racing line now there's a lot of shine coming off there, so there's going to be some puddles are going to definitely start to develop down the back straight. Of course, this is qualifying, so it shouldn't make too much difference. I think in race trim would be a bit more difficult there, because of course when you're off the racing line there's more water to clear on the intermediate tyres there. Gordo's back end is trying to overtake the front now, but Gordo is wrestling that Haas beautifully well then onto the curve. So he's a brave man, Gordo is. Goodness me, F1 2019 almost off the circuit. Gordo goes fast there, but that is quickly eclipsed by F1 2019. That's Maldonado. That's F1 2019 now, who is the fastest 0.6 of a second in front of His teammate and Gamer is just slotted in between the two Haas's. He's the meat in the Haas sandwich. He is in second position at the moment. Remember, this qualifying 2 is usually about strategy where you start to bring into play the medium and the soft tires, depending on what you want to start on. Remember, last night, no one started on the soft tires whatsoever, did they? But here tonight, then, it doesn't seem to be going to dry up anytime soon, these difficult conditions. And so perhaps, so tomorrow, later on, we're going to be starting on, they could be starting whatever tires they want. So you can start on the softs, the mediums, or the hard tires, because of course then there's if the track is dry. Maldonado goes at 4 fastest then in the Renault, and I gotta say, it feels like I'm back in 2014-15, albeit they were called Lotus back then rather than Renault, but technically it's the same team. We should just call them Team Enstone, shouldn't we, really? New Potato then is in the second part of the lap as well. Curly there just getting out of the way. Serious Merchant there looking a very strong customer at the moment. Sean Hammers are on board with now. He is the closest to the finish line, so let's go on board then with Sean Hammers then, as he is accelerated away on the long right-hander then, and let's see as he is coming down the back straight as well. Look at the raindrops streaming off of the cam here of Sean Hammers in the Mercedes, and his teammate is on a 44.4 at the moment there. Sean Hammers then has had a very good start to the season, hasn't he? He has got a 5th position in the Australian Grand Prix. He breaks down into second gear, then we've got yellow flags in front of us. No, it's behind Hammers. It is Curly Red there, as he is just kind of finding a bit of track space. He is indeed. Sean Hammers out of the final turn, and right straddling that curve there, isn't it? A bit of surfing there, and he's got to say it's a good weather for surfing, isn't it? Hammers goes second fastest. Good stuff indeed there, and 10th second away from F1 2019, who is the benchmark at the moment now. And just like I say that, New Potato becomes the new benchmark, and my goodness me, New Potato, fantastic. 7/10 of a second in front of F1 2019. Yes, the track may become slightly quicker, but my goodness me, New Potato is flying out there in the Alpha no, Alfa Romeo, goodness me. Baz goes 5th fastest, and then Serious Russian there, just like get hyped up about New Potato. Serious Russian comes in there and spoils the fun for me, but not for anyone else there, because he is now fastest there. And look at those puddles out there, it's starting to become standing water out there now, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting very perilous indeed. FIFA Beefy's in the pits at the moment. Curly on his lap as well. Let's go on board with Curly in the McLaren. Look at how much steering input he's putting there. Lovely helmet from Curly, by the way. Of course, this is a Lewis Hamilton tribute helmet there from Curly, or star helmet I should say that. Absolutely beautiful stuff indeed. It's Jim Carrey would say beautiful, and that's the person who taught Dan how to spell beautiful as well. Good stuff indeed then. As Curly's in the second intermediate split time, so on the back end there, stepping out there. These cars have got so much torque out in the turbo hybrid era, gotta say, so you've got to really manage your throttle input. It's very difficult in the dry. Kimi Räikkönen of course can attest to that in 2014 and 15 in the Canadian Grand Prix there, where he spun out turn number 11, I think it was, or 12, the hairpin. And of course, so very unusual for Kimi Räikkönen, but he's the only driver that seems to have any issues with that. Who's the only driver that seems to have repeated problems with that, with the putting on too much throttle input. New Potato just getting out of the way there. Here comes Curly Red coming down the back straight in a car number 12, Ed, breaking down there into second gear, not any lower than that. And so good speed there from Curly. We've just seen the Mercedes, a gamer pop himself back up in the third one. Then there's a lot of flags fluttering out there, and it's not because of the breeze either. I think it's because some drivers are just trying to find out time. Curly Red is moving himself into 8th fast at the moment, a couple of tenths behind Welsh Maldonado. Ayrton there is accelerating out there. Ayrton looks like he's on an in-lap, but looks at that one, so we're going to keep an eye on Troy, the latest Grand Prix winner in ALR. A fantastic performance out from Troy in the Vietnam Grand Prix. Last race in Vietnam for the time being anyway, because of course Vietnam was dropped off the calendar, wasn't it, of some political stuff. I don't know anything about politics and stuff like that. I'm not going to talk about it either, as of course politics causes all kinds of rifts and stuff like that. And to be honest, less said about the politics the better at the moment, isn't it? That's all I can say. Troy there coming on the it's just coming on to the short squirt straight. He's done an intermediate 2 sector 59.169 there, and that car is very much a lot of rain droplets now on the chassis of this Renault, and you can see that it's very wet out there to say the least. And Chazza, good evening, ALR, once again, good evening, Chazza, on this beautiful Monday. Well, it's not really beautiful, is it? Because actually, I think it was a lovely bit of sunshine here in the old Gloucestershire area. I'm not sure where it was everywhere else, but it was a beautiful day there, and you two would have been very happy about that indeed. Excuse me. No, that's better. Oh, you can tell well the winter's definitely here. So I've got the old man flu. But well, I haven't really got man flu to be honest. I've just got a little cough. Then Troy then out of the final turn. Then let's see what Troy can do. He goes at 4 fastest then, and he is currently safely through into qualifying 3. While all these drivers aiming at the moment, then well they're aiming to get into the top 10. Then so anyone who's 11th or lower, which we've only got 14 cars. Then if someone crashed. I'm not. Oh my gosh! We've been in this session for 10 minutes, and I've only just noticed there's only 14 cars. Then I got to say, if I've missed that, I'm not. I'm going to be an absolute. I'm going to be very unhappy with myself. But there's only 14 cars in qualifying 2. Then, so if anyone's crashed, then that's going to be very good. So Gordo is saying I'm not very fast, going very fast at the moment. Now Gordo is currently 11th, and he is 200th of a second outside the time he needs to be to get into qualifying 3. And Serious Mushroom has only got 1 set of inters left, and his gamer is also saying he is not liking this circuit whatsoever in the rain. Now, really, there's a lot of drivers struggling out there at the moment, aren't they? Because look at the raindrops really pouring off of the screen here at the moment. On board with Troy, who is at 2nd in the Drivers' Championship as well, as he is now coming out of turn at 13, I think it is. Friday's out of qualifying then, so the highest is going to be 13th today. We have got Fafa Beefy, who's looking strong in the first part of qualifying. He's about to set a time now with 4 minutes to go in this session there. Should be plenty of time then. I wonder if he might go for a couple of bites there, Cherry Fafa Beefy, as we're going down into the hairpin as well. Looks like it's good. This rain is set fair for all of qualifying. There is a bit of sunshine actually up in the sky, which is where sunshine usually is actually, isn't it? But I mean, on the just as he's going into the hairpin there, I'm sure it's in a burst of sunshine going down that back straight. And this is F1 2019 as well, as we're on board though. I'm just making sure I didn't imagine that. I think I did actually, because there's no sunshine at all on that clip, is there? So I'm speaking absolute rubbish there, so ignore me. It's Troy is not going for another time around as well. There's a flash of McLaren in the background now. I think that is Curly. It is indeed Curly in 9th position at the moment. And oh, I've had too much coke there, I gotta say. I had a bit of old trap win there. Oh, goodness me. I thought something very unpleasant was going to come out of me. We got F1 2019 there, coming through the very long turn 1 and 2. That is kind of 2 turns in 1, really, isn't it? It tightens up at the exit there as well. F1 2019 out of turn 4. As Serious Mushrooms retired for the session, but currently he is top of the tree, top of the mountain, top of the timesheets. 3 minutes to go in this session, then 3900 a second down there. We had a bit of a lull in that middle part qualifying 2, but I think that this is going to really start to up the ante, isn't it? Gordo saying, so I have to go out on the same set then. Serious Russian, yeah, mine was 3 laps old then. I think it's the same for everyone then. So I think a lot of drivers are really strong on those intermediates. You only get 4 sets of intermediate tyres for the whole of the race weekend, don't you? And that's not very much at all. But the reason why that is mainly for cost savings, isn't it? Really, you don't want to lug around so many intermediates and wets if it's going to be a completely dry weekend, isn't it? More often than not, it will be a dry weekend rather than not in Formula 1 terms. So 4 sets of intermediate tyres, 3 sets of wets. Hopefully we won't need the wets at the moment. It's still steady rain out there. There's puddles starting to form off the racing line, but that is fine. The drivers are not going to be off the racing line unless they get out of the competitors' way. So do not worry about that, ladies and gents. But the rain, I think, is still a steady intensity, albeit I do feel that it does get heavier and lighter in waves and droves then as well. F1 2019 accelerating out of the hairpin as well as he comes into the final turn as well of F1 2019. Very committed there out of the final turn then, and this is going to be full fast there for F1 2019. Goes over the start grid hatchings. Nicely done indeed. Welsh Maldonado is just finishing off her outlap then. Sean Hammers is 2/10 of a second up in the second intermediate split time. Nope, that's the first. This is the second. It's 4/10 now then for the Mercedes driver. 6/10 of a second up. Oh, on the overall lap time in car 53 as he is now coming on to the back straight then. FIFA Beefy under my nose there. It's just got up into second fastest in the Ferrari, and that should be safe as well. But it's very difficult because it's going to be moving goalposts now, isn't it? With less than a minute to go in this session. And Sean Hammers is dropped down to 7th fast at the moment, and he's breaking down in the end of the break, in the end of that long straight there, accelerating out as well. Then for Sean Hammers, 1 corner away from home for Sean. Let's see what he could do then. Final turn is coming up. This is a very difficult turn. We see a big smash there with Walker last night. Sean Hammers comes across the line. He is fifth fastest. Is that going to be safe? It is at the moment, I foresee. But let's see what Wilson can do. Wilson there out of the hairpin as well in 14 and 15. And the final turn is coming up. Just flicks it in there. 90 miles an hour then on the exit. Keeping everything track limits. Nicely done, sir. Wilson is in ninth finish. Then he is through into qualifying 3 as it stands. And I must stress on that. Curly Red over the line. And Curly Red is in 6th position. That is more comfortable there for Curly. Good stuff indeed. Gordo, who's just commented that he was struggling. He's gone wide as well. He is going to, I don't think he's going to be able to have one more run because that is a double whammy when you run wide there. And Gordo is out of qualified. That is going to be a big blow indeed. Welsh Maldonado is currently on the outside looking in. She has got 2/10 of a second down on Wilson as it stands at the moment. And then as McLaren is spun off, I think it's Curly, or is he getting out of the way? He's parked his car, the exit there, and that's and I hope Curly's all right there. Welsh Maldonado out of the final turn, and where is she going to put her car? 11th. Welsh Maldonado is out of qualifying, and unfortunately changed her name there. Might not have had the desired effect then. FIFA Beefy has gone fastest then, and Cemensi, he's got some good pace then. Ayrton's quite in. Oh, Ayrton is stuck into qualifying 3. When I say stuck, he's absolutely blitzed there. He is in qualifying 3. Fantastic lap there for Ayrton there. Very much like his namesake there. Really taming the weather conditions there. Good stuff indeed there for Ayrton. What about Wilson? No, we cannot forget this man there. Of course, he was a star of the season last season. Wesley Wilson was fantastic. His race craft was second to none. His race etiquette was second to none. Let's say, of course, a second half of the season where it's really shown some incredible race craft as well. I think Sean Hammers is just come across the line to finish 6th, and he is safely through. It's between Wilson and Baz. Who is going to be out of qualifying? Who is going to be a spectator like me out of the final turn? Wilson is through and into qualifying 3. Good final up there for Wilson. Amazing stuff indeed then. 1 into qualifying 2 then is that's absolutely amazing stuff. And Steve is saying he hates Cody's, and it is Stevie. It is. I was going to say Stevie. It's Steve who's out of qualifying. And goodness me. So Steve's had the most rottenest of luck there. I was wondering why there's only 14 cars on the circuit, and it is the second Red Bull of Steve who's out of qualifying. And what a shame there for Steve. I gotta say, if this man had any luck, if he didn't have bad luck, he'll have no luck at all. Steve, what a shame there, and that's a huge blow, isn't it, for Steve? Once again then, in every single event this season, Steve has really been hampered. Gordo out of qualified, he is 13th. Fran is 14th. Welsh Maldonado is down in 12th position there, but she can well, I was going to say she can start on whatever tire she wants, but it might be a silver lining, but unfortunately so would everyone else if the race conditions are dry. And Baz there is in 11th position as well. They're just about mixing out on qualifying 3 as well then. So, but his teammate Ayrton had just snuck through there. Great final up there for Ayrton as we are getting ready for qualifying 3 as well. Welsh Maldonado saying another bottle job, lovely jubbly then. Serious Mushroom, great lap from FIFA, and that just underlines it. 500 a second in front of Serious Mushroom, who is through into qualifying 3. New Potato is also through with Gamer and Troy, the last 2 race winners in silver. Sean Hammers is through with Wilson, Curly, F1 2019, and Ayrton also through by 200 to a second, out qualifying his teammate Baz, who is out qualifying 11th position. Welsh Maldonado in 12th position. Gordo in 13th. Fran is in 14th position with no time, and unfortunately we've lost Steve, who is down in 15th position there, and that's a big blow indeed. That Gordo is very unhappy there, as he is not he's not a very happy chappy in the old comment section. We're going into qualifying 3 in just a jiffy. And of course I need another break then, because I really need a haircut, to be honest. Unfortunately with the hairdressers closed, I'm going to have to do it myself, so I'm going to have to get a bowl over my head and just shave around it, kind of thing. At least I'll be able to see, or maybe I just need to cut these old curtains off there, because at the moment I can struggle to see. I'm kind of trying to part the curtains, but they keep getting back in my face. Unfortunately, I think I look like Brad Pitt, but of course that's only if you very much look at me from a distance, kind of thing. Right, enough about that. We're into qualifying 3 then. We're 30 seconds into qualifying 3. Steve will start last if you join late. That's what he normally does. It's a joke then. And well, that's very unfair then. So he gets the qualifying in qualifying 1 then. So it's a bit of a tease, really, isn't it? So it's Steve's teammate Wilson then. So yeah, the Red Bull team are going to be very unhappy with that. And I'm thinking that Christian Horner really needs to be on the blower there and having a good old word there for Codemaster, because that is disgusting, really, isn't it? Disgusting behaviour. On board with the first ever bronze world champion, which is Potato. It is still raining there. It is still light rain out there. The track conditions haven't improved, and I don't think they've declined either. So it is status quo there. New Potato out there quite straight away there. And this is New Potato's MO kind of thing, isn't it, really? He has no messing about there for Potato. He gets out there quite early, even on the second run as well. He's not concerned about the track conditions. All he's concerned about his own personal performance there, isn't he, in the Alfa Romeo. And of course, he's very much back at home there, where his ALR career started. He did start off in the Alfa Romeo team in the first season of Bronze there, and I got to say, and that's what got him to the carrying into the bronze championship. I say carried. I think Potato did an absolutely magnificent job, didn't he, when he first debuted in bronze there? Magnificent. Of course, he was under a different disguise of a con, wasn't he? Which it's unbeknownst to me there. As I got to say, I got very excited when I said New Potato, but then realising it's the same guy that won in Spain all those seasons ago. Then, of course, which was the bronze there, as New Potato really lit up that season, didn't he? Only 9 races that first season was there. New Potato just really ran with it, didn't he? It was like a series of sprints there, wasn't he? He got the baton. He just ran with it from Spain onwards, didn't he? Potato did, and really impressive. In silver, I don't think he's really had a kind of got the momentum going, has he, for himself then? But oh goodness me, he has the most pole positions in silver in this in the current cropper in the current field, doesn't he? Potato, with I think he has 6, but yeah, I don't think in terms of race stream he's been very unlucky. Potato has there. Remember, he possibly could have and should have won in the Dutch Grand Prix last season, but Ghost won it by the slimmest of margins there. The closest finish in ALR history by was it like 50 hundredths of a second? It was ridiculously close there. He got such a good run out of the final turn now of turn 14 in the first ever Dutch Grand Prix in silver. Magnificent performance it was indeed there. Potato there, of course, did have a good lead there, but he slipped off the track there, didn't he, with a couple of laps to go, and it really put the Ghost really put the pressure on, didn't he? A fantastic race, one of my all-time favourites as well. Along with last night's as well, and all the other ALR races. Goodness me, I find it very hard to choose. As I'm waffling away, then Potato is still carrying on at the moment. This is a very neat and tidy lap there for Potato. He is just trying to look at where his braking points are and making sure that he doesn't overshoot. Then this is I would say this might be a very measured lap then, but 58.7 in the second sector is not a half bad time there, is it? Says the ginger chubby commentator, who can't even get into the 1 minute and 5s in the second sector then. So that's enough said about that. But yeah, that's a very good time indeed then from Potatoes. He is down the back straight as well. No DRS then. We might see DRS in the race then if there is if it's a dry race then, which a lot of drivers are saying it's a dry race, but we'll soon find out then. The rain, I feel that the rain's getting quite heavier down into the braking zone of turn 14 there. The New Potato then, look at that, and he is very much wrestling with the car. The car wanted to spin there. New Potato then was very much taming that Alfa Romeo out of the final turn, and let's see what he can do. He is fast on a 43.1. I say that was a very conservative time. Goodness me, that was a fantastic time there for Potato, and that's exactly what you need to do in these conditions, don't you? Sometimes slow and steady definitely does help you in these conditions there. He applied the throttle very consistently as well, but FIFA beefy, oh my goodness me, this man cannot be stopped at the moment. He's done a 43.0. He's a 10th of a second in front of Potato, and we thought Potato's time was pretty magnificent. Wow. And we got another man who's really enjoying these weather conditions at the moment. It's Serge Russian, third in the driver's standings last season. 1 Grand Prix win to his name in the very similar conditions to this qualifying session. The Japanese Grand Prix, another one of the incredible best races of all time in the ALR. We should probably put a highlight reel together, shouldn't we? Serge Russian goes third fastest then. What about Ayrton then coming up to the line? Ayrton is 5th faster, 10th of a second away from Wilson at the moment. Both Mercedes are down at the hairpin. Here comes Gamer at the moment then. 1 corner to go then for the World Championship leader. Car 59 and out of the final turn and straddling the curb, but Gamer then is taking the shortest run. 4th fast at the moment there for Gamer. He's been on pole position in every single Grand Prix thus far. Remember, Emerson was also at the same point of his season last night as well, before someone that stole that, didn't he? And that was Walker, of course, that I really struggled to remember who that was then. But yes, it was Walker. Currently then accelerating out of the out of turn at 14 as well then. And now into 16 then. And accelerating away down Curly as that once again now taking it very cautiously on the throttle input pedal. 6 fast at the moment. Troy of course was great in these conditions last week. He's 6 fast at the moment. Troy is displaces Curly, who is down to 7th. F1 2019 is back out on the course, or is out on the course now. 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. I have a feeling that this F1 might have filled up the car. Then we've also got another Red Bull. I figure so. Wilson go for a second bite of cherry. Yes, indeed, he's back up in the 6th position now. Good time there from Jake then. And he might be, and he's doing a traditional wet wear run as well, going for a couple of laps, and on the intermediate tires, he's filled the car up slightly more. And I'm wondering if that's also because then these drivers might not have enough intermediate tires then to get them through them. Mushroom is a 10th of a second down the second split sector there. And he's going to come in the pits, I feel, then. Yes, he is coming in the pits. And Mushroom currently in 3rd on the grid at the moment. And FIFA Beefy, I don't think has ever got a pole position in silver before, has he? So he's on course to really rip up the form book. He's had 4 podiums in his career, hasn't he, FIFA? Also in the pits then is the AlphaTauri of Verts as well, down in 9th position at the moment. But he's in the top 10, isn't he? He's going to also, and everyone in these drivers will be starting on fresh tyres, whatever those tyres may be. Wilson's invalidated this time then, so I have a feeling that Wilson is going to come in the pits there from another set of intermediate tyres, or is he just going to keep going and going? F1 2019, 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Yellow flags is fluttering behind F1 2019 over the grid hatches as well. Here we go then, the finish sign and the start lines in 2 different places there, because of course the finish line needs to be in line with the FIA garage then. Serious Mushroom say bottled it, went out too late there from Serious Mushroom. It's getting wetter now then. Oh, so yes, I thought it was getting wetter down at turn 14, and then Serious Mushroom confirms it. So is this going with the grid then? Is FIFA going to be on pole position for the first time in his ALR career? What has F1 2019 got left in his locker? He's gone purple in the first sector. We've got Wilson who's invalidated his time. There's a couple of drivers out there going for a second bite of cherry. Curly is one of them. Troy is another as well. And Wilson has abandoned his lap then. New Potatoes back out on circuit. He's got to find a 10th of a second now. Well, let's say a 10th of a second there, because he's about 900 of a second in from the FIFA, behind FIFA Beefy at the moment then. But Serious Mushroom has in line to dust it. It might be getting wetter out there. Yes, it's the best of the track conditions gone then. Well, we're going to find out now. But remember, back in 2019, Charles Leclerc had an absolutely barnstorm, 2018 I should say, had a barnstorm of a qualifying session, didn't he? In the Sauber team, when of course it was raining quite heavily, but somehow he made it into qualifying 3 in fantastic performance there from Leclerc. So maybe we could see something like that again. Love the helmet, by the way, from F1 2019. Loving those letters and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely splendid stuff. But he's not going to be concerned about his helmet at the moment as he touches 2 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour down the back straight as well. I gotta say, I think I don't really go over 2 miles an hour on this game really, unless I'm spinning, of course. So F1 2019 into the final corner as well. Lovely stuff. He took in a lot of speed there for F1 2019 and compels himself up into 7th position then. Catapults, I should say, up into 7th position as well then. What about Curly then? Curly's got 10th for a second up in the second sector as well, and that's quite a good final corner there as well from Curly. I felt it as I was on board with him, and he's a 10th for a second improvement there, but he has not improved his position there. Troy has, so he's back up in the 5th. He splits the 2 Mercedes then. Gamer in 4th, hammers down into 6th position as well. Good luck there from Troy. Of course, he's a very cool customer as well. He finally got his first Grand Prix win of his ALR career last time out in Vietnam, and he'll be the last Vietnam Grand Prix winner for quite a number of years, I would say as well. But he's in 5th position at the moment, Troy is. Serious Mushroom is back out on a lap as well. What about then? Is F1 2019 going for a second bite of the cherry? We're back on board then with F1 2019. So I think he is indeed then. So he's carrying on with this momentum. 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session. The top left-hand corner. That is where the clock is ticking down. He is free. 10 a second up in the second split. That is in the ballpark of the 2 cars in front of him of Troy, Sean Hammers and Gamer. And he could propel himself right up into 4th position on the second row of the grid. That'll be fantastic from F1 2019 back on board then as he is down the backstretch. Well, we can see a dot in front of us, and that is one of the Alfa Romeos. I think it's a Potato. He is on a quick lap as well, Potato. So let's take a look and see what Potato's doing. 8/10 of a second down, Potato. So I think he's abandoned his lap, but F1 2019 is not going to abandon his lap next. He's a 3/10 of a second up. That lovely shot here from F1 2019. And as we're just taking a look at the steering wheel as well, look at all the information and data he's got. He's run wide. F1 2019 has run wide. That's a huge blow, and that's also the next up. He's lost his way. 6/10 of a second up. F1 2019 is retired from the session. He is going to be kicking himself there. What a shame for F1 2019. Troy is 2 seconds down. What about Curly? He is 6 seconds down as well. What about the Ferrari of FIFA? He is now starting his lap as well. Potato's going for another bite of the chair as well. We got Serious Mush now. Look at that hacksawing away as we coming down the back straight. Sean Hammers is just started his lap as well. Curly is now back into the pit set, and here is Potato. I'm sorry, who? Mushroom. That's it. It's Serious Mush then down the back straight, and he is on course to. He's in the ballpark, I think, of FIFA Beefy. 6/10 of a second up in the second sector. We did see his first split time, but if it's anything like a second sector, it's going to be pole position. We're holding our breath, and he is on pole position there. Serious Mushroom is. Oh, fantastic stuff indeed. And he's had a win. He's never had a pole position, but he has thrown the gauntlet down into his competitors. Amazing stuff. He's in a 42.7, 3/10 of a second buffer over FIFA Beefy, who is the benchmark at the moment. Here is Sean Hammers now. One more turn to go. He's a 10th of a second up. Then can he get in front of Troy? He could get in front of his teammates. Well, he could be back on the second row. Hammers, he's up in the 4th position. Great way to end qualifying now for Sean Hammers. He is the leader Mercedes thus far. FIFA Beefy's got a license to throw in the first sector. Second sector, he is 2/10 of a second up. That is in the ballpark. That is only in the ballpark now. And New Potato is in the pits, and the man who's been on pole position 5 times in his silver career, the man with the most pole positions at this juncture of silver. But he's abandoned his lap and coming to the pits. And here is FIFA Beefy. He is 2 corners from home, technically 3, but he's 2 bona fide corners from home. And look at this, and he's just focusing on that braking point. So I'll break it down, drop it down into second gear. He's into first set, accelerated back up as well. And here he comes as well. FIFA Beefy said very calm on the application of the throttle. Final turn then from FIFA Beefy. Let's see, is it going to be his first pole position? We could have debut poles, and the FIFA's back on pole position. What a gamer! He is 5th fastest. He does improve, but FIFA Beefy is his first pole position of his career. Ayrton is popped into 9th position now, and less than 600 away from Curly. Great effort there from Ayrton. Here comes Wilson now. Wilson is going to pop himself into 8th position or higher. Wilson is in 4th position. My goodness me, he's found a second there from Wilson. He is on the 4th row of the grid then in 4th position. 1 end to qualifying. Magnificent performance from Wilson. But it is FIFA Beefy, his first pole position of his ALR career. Fantastic stuff indeed there from the Ferrari driver. Hats off indeed then. Oh, amazing stuff. He's had 4 podiums in his career, 3 drivers of the day, and now his first pole position as well. And he's been threatening that all qualifying long, hasn't he? And he is my star qualifying at FIFA Beefy's magnificent performance there from FIFA. Of course, his best result is in Brazil when he returned back to ALR Silver in the Alfa Romeo. And of course, he got an incredible second position, didn't he, on that day? He's surely got to be in for the race win here tonight, hasn't he? But he has Serious Mushroom, a former race winner behind him. New Potato, a former world champion behind him from bronze. We have Wilson, who was in second for most of the championship last season. He is in 4th. Sean Hammers in 5th, a former Grand Prix winner. Gamer, the world championship leader in 6th, and Troy, the newest Grand Prix winner in 7th. F1 2019, another multiple podium sitter. Curly Red then, who of course had his first podium back in Australia, and Ayrton also with a podium sitter. Look at the caliber of drivers in the top 10. This is going to be a magnificent race, isn't it? Coming up in just a jiffy as well. Fantastic stuff indeed then. F1 2019 bottled him a 6/10 of a second better lap. Yes, we was on board if you F1 2019. Unfortunately, you went too wide in the final corner, which really damaged that, didn't it? Damaged your performance there. What a shame there. We've got Wilson. Wow, I'll take that. Never started that high. Then Serious Russian. Well done, Jake. Good luck all there as well. And let's just take a look at the times then as we head into the race as well. 10th for a second separates FIFA Beefy and Serious Mushroom there. And that is FIFA Beefy, his first pole position of his career. Fantastic stuff indeed there. Serious Musher was just over 10th a second away from getting his first pole position. Potato in third position, and with Wilson, as he just mentioned, he's never started that high before in fourth position. So all Mercedes, row 3, Troy in F1 2019, 7th and 8th, and Curly and Ayrton, 9th and 10th, and this is going to be magnificent. The Chinese Grand Prix is coming up after this interval. Right, as we're now getting ready for the race itself, as I quickly get rid of all of my notifications there, because I don't want to even be distracted by that whatsoever there. As I quickly get comfortably, I hope you're all sitting comfortably at home as well. I was sitting comfortably, but unfortunately I'm already a sweaty mess there, which is not good, is it really? As you would think the qualifying is not going to be as dramatic as the race, but there you go. I think every bit of F1 action is dramatic for me. I am one of those people that would sit there and watch the whole of the practice sessions in one go, which I used to do when way back when I was a young nipper of well, probably about a couple of years ago now. As we got a black screen at the moment now saying that please wait, then we've also got a circle that is just spinning around there like a Catherine wheel or something like that, which is not appropriate really, is it? Because it ain't firework night until November, and I'm really wishing the year away, which is not something that any of us want to do, is it really? At least it's polite, I suppose, by saying please wait, but I'm quite an impatient person. I want to get on with the show, and so do all you guys at home, don't you? But I think that the grid is magnificent, isn't it? Of course, fantastic stuff there for FIFA Beefy's first pole position of his career in ALR Silver, and we just mentioned that from start to finish in that qualifying performance there, FIFA just looked very much on it like a car bonnet, didn't he? From start, literally from the green light went on the end of the pit lane. FIFA, I said it now, of course, then because I don't want to sound like I'm wrong, but it was absolutely magnificent stuff indeed. That is the session is now getting ready to start, and here we go then as the countdown is on then, and it's a dry race, and it's going to be the first dry run of the event tonight, because we've had a very wet and miserable qualifying session. It's a very overcast day here in China, which is nothing unusual really. It's very hardly we hardly see sunshine around here, and whether that's down to a smog or anything like that, there we go then. But yes, it's a bit of a gloomy day here in Shanghai as we are about to get going then for the Chinese Grand Prix round 4 of season 3. I can't believe I'm saying season 3 a silver, and let's go for the grid show from front to back, and Steve on the back of the grid then. That's absolutely a search heartbreak for Steve, but I think Steve would be we're going for race driver of the day again, won't he? Right, here we go then. So, not a soft tyre in sight then. Everyone is on the medium or the hard tyres. The hard runners is Welsh Maldonado in 11th position there. We got Ayrton down in 14th position, Ayrton is. Is he had a 5-place grid penalty? I'm not sure what's happened to Ayrton then, but that's not good, is it? Ayrton dropping down, and he was in 10th position, I'm sure he was, but he's down into 14th now. Not good at all for Ayrton. So he's on the hard tyres as well. We've got Diashi in 16th, and Bradfield in 18th position on the hard tyres. I cannot comment why Ayrton's dropped down 5 positions there. Hopefully we'll find out in the not too distant future, but I can't remember seeing he had a 5-place grid penalty, but that is a huge blow for Ayrton after a magnificent performance to get into qualifying 3. That's not good at all. FIFA BP is on pole position. Now qualifying performance and qualifying session, I think he owned from start to finish there. He is the first non-Mercedes to get pole position. He is the first non-ex-gamer to get pole position as well. He has broken the monopoly of pole positions this season there so far for ex-gamer. A magnificent performance. Alongside him on row 1 is Cyrus Musher now. He's starting to really come into his own now. Had a difficult start in Australia, but since then he's very much been looking forward. Potato in 3rd position there. Had a bit of a stop-start season too in the opening couple of races, and hopefully he can really get on it now. Wilson, a brilliant qualifying performance, up into 4th position. Sean Hammers in 5th position with Gamer in 6th, and that's the lowest he's been all season. Gamer is. He is on the 3rd row of the grid then. Troye, the man who won in Vietnam, is 7th, and F1 2019 should be higher than what he is, but he's in 8th, and Curdy is in 9th position, and 10th position is Baz then. And that is the top 10 as well. Gunnar, good luck everyone as well. Good stuff indeed there from Gunnar. Very, of course, Gunnar, a ALR veteran, is he, in his own right then, of course. And I think he'd be a very useful man to have in your ear as a race engineer, wouldn't he? Just outside the top 10 is Welsh Maldonado in 11th position. Now, Gordo is in 12th position. 13th position is Fran. Ayrton down in 14th. Nigel is in 15th position. And Diashi in 16th. 17th position is Ardy Wee. 18th position is Bradfield. 19th position is Roscoe, and Steve, after a magnificent, after getting into the qualifying session late, has just been demoted to the back of the field there. So another draw of the day performance here from Steve then as well. He is 20th and last in car 23 then, as And he is, I think he's stolen Albon's number there. Hopefully he hasn't stolen Albon's luck, or is Scaliva there. But of course, but we'll leave that to one side, shall we? Yeah, no jokes. And it's a shame for Albon. I felt really sorry for him when we sent him on the virtual Grand Prix last night. But hopefully he does get back into F1 because he's a talented driver. But yeah, I think Red Bull, he did need to up his game, didn't he? Right then, 20 cars around Shanghai. Look, we got a bit of heat haze coming off of the tarmac as well. And the heat is climbing. So are the lights, so are the revs. Here we go for China. The lights are out. No one's home now, but I'm certainly home, I think. And we are going to be going in just a few moments then. And the drivers are being sat in position now. And now we are go. A bit of wheel spin, but I think it's all good. That Mercedes has flown away. Sean Hammers has flown. And look at this side. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of ducking and diving. And now that Renault's up the inside. Troy has had a magnificent start. He's on the inside of Gamer. Gamer's doing at the full position. There's some carnage in the back then. And Troy, he's over in the full position. Magnificent start there for Troy. But the two championship protagonists are banging wheels then. Yellow flag in one then. It's a Haas drop right down to the back. It's F1 2019 then. Gamer's dropped down the order then, but he's signed back at the inside. He is indeed. That is a bit of a smash at RDW. It's left possession. That's not good at all for RDW. He's got up to 15th then. And F1 2019 is also left possession as well. And F1 2019, that's a big blow indeed then. And yeah, that's not good then. Welshman Nord is in the top 10. FIFA Beefy is currently leading this race at the moment then. And had a good start, and so did Serious Rush as well. Gamers up 3 positions, magnificent start. And same with Troy, also moving up 3 positions there. 6th position there for Gorda, magnificent performance there. Wilson dropping down a position. We've also got New Potato dropping down for 10 positions there. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Nigel moving up into a 10th position already. He's had a magnificent start and driving, coming through the field like a hot knife through butter as we come down the long back straight then. And Gurman saying, let's go then. Looks like far for Rob Derton of a few places too. There's yellow flags in the back. That's a red ball off. It's Steve's had some issues in the background as we are breaking down for the first breaking point. No, then it's the heaviest breaking point on the circuit, and Sean Hammers is trying to go up and under them, but Curry is having none of it then, and he is still in. Where is he? He's at 8th position. Gordo over in the 6th position. Fantastic stuff. Lap 1 completed, and the gap is 7/10 of a second. Then from Serious Mushroom in 2nd. Gamer up into 3rd position. Troy in 4th position. On board Wilson at the moment. Then Curly has now got past Baz going into turn 1. Magnificent performance there from Curly. Right, a very decisive maneuver there. Sean Hammers there is going trying to go on the outside. He's got off the outside for turn 2. Oh, he's banged into Baz there and nerfed him out of the way slightly there. And Sean Hammers then is a free ball. I think did he lift off the floor there? Hammers did. Well, he's not looking like he's doing that because he got the deployment going there. It's getting very feisty there, but Hammers saves his way up into 9th position. Or does he? He's in 8th position, I should say then. But Baz are getting a much better acceleration run out there. And that's a racing point facing the wrong way. It's Artie Wee. This has had some issues as well at the back of the field. That's not good at all. Hopefully we'll get RDB back in the session. He might be back in the session anyway. And so now we're coming down then into 8th position as well then. Yes, Emerson's confirmed that Ayrton should have started 10th position. He didn't have a 5-place grid penalty. So yeah, that is very unfortunate. Ayrton has been robbed of a 10th position as well. So Ayrton is having to fight an uphill battle. That is such a shame then. He's on the hard tires, Ayrton is. He did have pace in the wet, and can he keep this going? And Ayrton now is going to have to try and do the best he can, really, and in a very difficult circumstances. What a shame then. Yes, it's very difficult to get in the correct mindset. I should know. I'm a ginger and I rage a lot. Sean Hammers is now on the outside. No, he isn't. He's on the inside because there's Baz on the outside. We got Nigel who's basically flying through the field. Isn't he? Fantastic performance out of FIFA Beef. He's had no fast out of the race. I got F1 2019 is out of the race and he's left for session. I think he was probably unhappy about his qualifying performance, and unfortunately his race performance has ended quite early as well as we're going into turn 1 then. So Ayrton has so the game there has really robbed Ayrton of 5 positions there for no apparent reason at all then, and that is a big blow indeed, isn't it? So he hasn't got a 5-place grid penalty, was what I accused him of there. I seem to accuse Ayrton of quite a lot, don't I, really? And I'm a bad boy for it, I really am. Nigel is currently in 10th position then. He is about 4 tenths away from this. A good battle between a Baz and a Sean Hammers at the moment. Gap at the front is 7 tenths of a second moment. Gamer's from backside. He's 1.2 seconds away from the battle in front too. FIFA beefing Serious Mushroom in the wet looks formidable, but in the dry it is not a fluke, is it? Because in the dry as well, they are loving life out there at the moment. Brilliant stuff indeed then. So Gordo up 6 positions, fantastic. He's been the biggest mover on the opening couple of laps here. Then there are the tyre selection as well. Then as we are now on a lap 3, then DRS has been enabled. Then so FIFA is going to really have to start to think about defending, defending this on this long back straight. So this is the first time where FIFA is going to really have to start to deploy some defensive tactics. But Troye is right underneath the gearbox of Gamer. He's alongside Gamer. He passes Gamer and moves up into third position. Good performance there from Troye, and great stuff indeed. Then Gamer's trying to come back up and under, but at the moment Troye has the high ground and he is now in a third position. Gamer dropping down into fourth in the Mercedes. Troye has gone very wide there though, hasn't he? But as I think you get 3 warnings don't you, before you get a penalty. Nigel there having a lot of opposite, full of opposite lock there, isn't he? And really wrestling that car. He is in 10th position, the first ever ALR world champion. As we flick it into turn 1, it's very murky out there at the moment. I keep hearing myself breathe in the headset as well. Oh gosh, that's horrific, isn't it? But Nigel, it's very overcast at the moment. I'm back on board then with Nigel as well. In front of us then is Baz and Sean Hammers. They've settled down now quite nicely. Curly is now just monitoring Gordo. Gordo, I gotta say, has been one of the most improved drivers in the ALR Silver community, or grid I should say. So very impressive stuff indeed there from Gordo. And of course I'm a very big fan of the Haas drivers. I was going to say Racing Point driver for some reason, because I was looking at Diashi and RDW just to make sure if they were still in the race or not. Noob Patel then was in third position, dropping down right down into 12th position there. This man just seems to have a lot of bad luck, doesn't he, Noob Patel? He's got the pace, he's shown it so many times in qualifying, but in the race stream he seems to get into mischief one way or another. Roscoe's just dived on the outside of Bradfield. That's a good manoeuvre there from Roscoe, fantastic. However, he was behind on the DRS detection zone, which now Bradfield will have the upper hand as well, as we're coming down the long 1.2 kilometre long straight then. And look at this then, as I've got to say the DRS is not very powerful at the moment. It's always expected to be all over his gearbox, but that's really not the case at all, is it? Coming down into the hairpin, then Bradfield and Roscoe not taking part in that qualifying, and going back to this battle then, which is between Welsh Maldonado, which was Rempo. She's now been rechristened then to Pastor Maldonado, Welsh Pastor, as she is in 11th position there, 8/10 of a second away from Nigel, but she is the second of the highest runner hard compound tyre users. The highest one is Jake Wilson in the 5th position. A magnificent qualifying performance from Wilson. The front four are now starting to concertina. They're all within DRS range of each other now, as is Sean Hammers there, who is very much all over the gearbox of Curly, who is trying to get past Gordo at the moment. Then, of course, so Gordo has got every right to defend his position now. We've got a bit of a Gordo train going on at the moment, haven't we? Behind the Haas driver, but of course, they have to pass him, and I think Gordo's got a very quick car on the old back straight, and where he needs to be quick then, and that's all that matters at this stage of proceedings. So of course, it's your prerogative of how you race, isn't it? And of course, we don't want to see drivers getting out of the way. Of course, technically it might be a smart decision, I suppose, where you don't use up your tyres. But of course, I do love some racing there, and this is meant to be. And of course, ALR is not very. I suppose it's a tyre formula to a certain degree, but I think a lot of our drivers would rather race than just look after those tyres. Sean Hammers is thinking about it's getting very racy as well on the rear end. And look at these cars, and they're starting to slipstream. Then look at them trying to break the slipstream as Curly there is gaining on Gordo. Gordo is Hammers is gaining, and look at this Curly go for the switchback up the inside. Oh, Gordo into Curly. Banging wheels there, but Curly has the inside, and he is through and up into. Oh my goodness me! I don't think. Oh gosh, they're coming together, I think. And Sean Hammers there, getting slightly nerfed off there, but Gordo did have the nose in front, I suppose. And that look at. Oh my goodness me! He's on the grass, and there's going to be 3 abreast for this Sean Hammers there. Oh my word! There it's getting very feisty there. Fantastic performances. Oh my word. Oh, and Baz there coming from nowhere. He's spinning there. Nigel's now also in there as well. This is chaos. I love it. Fantastic. Now Baz dropping down 10 this now. I think he was a bit too overzealous there as they go into turn 1. Now we got Welsh Maldonado then also up to the back end as well. Is she going to have a lunge? Not quite then. She was going. Oh, and who's that? New Patel's gone right to the back of Maldonado. He's damaged the end plate on that Alpha Tari as well. Gurman is loving this. He's madness. He's saying it is madness, isn't it? Absolutely magnificent stuff indeed then. Steve is now almost right behind Roscoe. Ayrton down in 14th position still as well. F1 2019 is out the race, so it's RDW as well. Nigel just using a bit of the a bit more than the track than what he's probably allowed there. We haven't rented that part out there, have we? We got F1, we got FIFA Beefy 7/10 a second in front of Serious Mushroom. He's doing a very good job out there at the moment. FIFA Beefy has Diashi's got a 3-second penalty. We've got Fran who's facing the wrong way. Oh dear, there coming out to turn 11 and 12. I think it is in the Alfa Romeo. Both Alfa Romeos are in the wars at this stage of proceedings as well. RDW then is back in the session. Good some deep then. He is at the back of the field at the moment. RDW is. We've also got New Potato then who's dropped down the order. Ayrton's now moved up to 12th position there as well then. So what a shame there from New Potato. I think he just misjudged his breaking point down into turn 6 there. That was a big blow indeed for the bronze world champion, and he's going to have to come in the pits much earlier than what he wanted. And I think Fran, is he coming? He hasn't got damage, Fran hasn't. So Potato in the pits then. What a shame there for Potato. Went to the back of Welsh Maldonado, and unfortunately so lap 7 of this race, and FIFA is still leading. Then he's got a very handsome lead at the moment, hasn't he? FIFA 8/10 a second in front of Serious Mushroom in second. Then the two former race winners this season, and I thought there was a car on the gravel there, but it's actually a brake board. Nigel's got past Gordo. He's on the outside. Gordo is going to have to go. No, he's staying behind the Ferrari. Gordo is struggling. Then remember last night we seen I think it was E-Class, wasn't it? Those medium tires just didn't hang on at all for E-Class. That was very much later on the stint there, but Gordo is struggling this stage of the proceedings. He had a very good start to this race, didn't he, Gordo? And Gordo is really starting to hang on to the Haas at the moment. Nazalau and Baz and Welsh Maldonado in the facility as well. So this is going to be as Gordo is all over the track there at the moment. There, isn't he? I think he's just struggling now to keep it on the circuit, isn't he? On those medium tires, but he's only done 6 laps, so that is not good at all for Gordo's strategy at this stage of proceedings. We're coming. We've got 20 more laps to go there. Baz, you can see then. Look at that. He's got the overtake deployed there as well in car 72. Look at this. He's gaining now. And look at this as we're looking backwards. There it is. And look, lovely onboard footage here from the Haas car. Baz on it up then, but of course he was too far back. Steve has just gone up into, as I thought, Watch Ronda wins the back there, the AlphaTauri. And Roscoe and Steve having a good, almighty battle here. Goodness me, look at them. They're banging wheels here. Steve is now. He's alongside Roscoe. Roscoe is not going to yield, is he? And he doesn't indeed. Oh my goodness me, he's just chopped off my mop. And he's now coming across the line as well. Steers under DRS, and Roscoe's got DRS as well. We've also got the McLaren and Bradfield as well. And now we're going into turn 1. Steers on the outside. He is going on the outside. Look at this. That's a fantastic maneuver there. And look at that. There he is then. But he's now is he going to just stay slightly? No, he doesn't. Roscoe just slams the door shut there on Steve. Of course, both Steve and Ayrton have both been cruelly robbed then at the opening stages of this race. New Potatoes back out in 19th position on the hard tires. This might be a long afternoon then for the bronze world champion. Diashi is the only driver at this moment and who has a penalty then. Back to the chaos in the midfield. The gap at the front end is 8/10 second. It's just fluctuating up and down the moment. Sean Hammers there is giving Curly no room for manoeuvre there. He's really pushing on there. I think one driver is doing absolutely magnificent at the moment, and that's Jake Wilson. He's doing a magnificent job on the hard tyre. We got Diashi, who's had some issues there in the midfield of the circle there. He's dropping down the order as well. Diashi really struggling at this stage of the season there, isn't he? What a shame there for Diashi. Of course, remember that he was one of our breakout stars, wasn't he? Yellow as a yellow flag as Fran is also cruising as well. Both Alfa Romeos are also in the war. Sean Hammers has now gone up in a 2. Oh goodness me, and there's a lot of exchanging there. Look who's in the background. That's a who is it? Oh, it's an AlphaTauri. It's Baz, and look at this. They're getting very frisky there, and goodness me, and it is getting a very interesting. Roscoe is had it. We've got yellow flags, and the racing point is facing the wrong way of Diashi. Oh my goodness me, Roscoe loves the grass on the inside of turn at number 16 and coming across the line once again then DRS and of course Ross got DRS then from Ayrton, who's in 12th position at the moment then as they fling it in to turn 1 as well. Oh goodness me, back on board with Baz. This is fantastic there. Remember the two hard runners there of Ayrton, Welsh Maldonado. We've also got Bradfield in the facility and Wilson. All those drivers on the hard tires, they're going to be going much longer in the race then. Remember last night that hard strategy was fantastic. Maybe Murphy could have won this race last night there if the rain didn't come at the right time now. And of course, then the race last night was absolutely madness, wasn't it? Remember, the eventual race winner, Knowles, he was at the back of the field, wasn't he? And he came through to win there. Of course, it was absolutely fantastic strategy on board with Baz. Remember, the German also had a great race as well there. Fantastic for all the gold drivers there who got in the top three. It was a very hard-fought race. It really was indeed there, and all of them deserved to win, in my opinion. There, Emerson definitely really fought hard, didn't he, for his second position there. Knowles there, who had a very unfortunate incident in the opening stage of the race there, and German there, of course, just fighting his way through the field there. He really came under the radar, didn't he? Especially for me. But absolutely fantastic stuff. We've got a lot more dodging and weaving going on. Curly's gone in too deep there, and now Nigel's just going to go up and then Curly get on the accelerator pedal a bit too harsh there, and Curly there is as I let Nigel off the leash there, off the hook there. Ayrton there is just dropping back now, as Ayrton is dropping down to 13 for this now. As Roscoe's got a 3-second penalty. Look at this now, as Ayrton's got DRS and he starts to defend, and Roscoe has not got DRS. Ayrton is going to go on the outside, but I think Steve's going to have a look on the inside. He has gone on the inside. There is Ayrton. Ayrton dropping back slightly. He is on the hard tire, of course, Ayrton is there. So Ayrton is going for the long game, isn't he? Same with Bradfield as well, so he's just got to make sure they keep the cars in the one piece, don't they? As Steve and Roscoe just carrying on their battle at the moment then. But I got to say, I think Welsh Maldonado would probably like to be in front of this Gallon cars right now, because at the moment I think those hard tires are going to be taking a bit of a pound in there, aren't they? Of course, the dirty air coming off of these cars have really damaged the front tires, because you have a lot of understeer, isn't it? They scrub on the track, which means you've got to put more input in, which damages the tire even more then. Of course, unfortunately, I've got to talk about, as much as I was saying this isn't ALR, isn't a formula, tire formula, but technically it is, isn't it, really? But of course, as Formula 1, the pit stops are all about tires now. There's no refueling in F1 anymore. Of course, the fuel was outlined back in, outlawed, I should say, back in 2009, wasn't it? And that Ferrari, I gotta say, I'm loving this battle there. Currently, they're getting very aggressive there. Sean Hammers has got past Jake. He is having a fifth finish. A good performance there for Sean Hammers there. Jake is trying to go back on the inside there. Here's the squeeze. Fifa's in the pits after 10 laps. Oh, goodness me, that's quite early on then for the medium tires. That's a couple of laps shy of Emerson, who was the first of the medium runners in last night. But remember, that was about with rain on the horizon, and there's no rain at the moment now. Wilson is coming back out. Sean Hammers, he's on the outside. He's back up into fourth position now. Wilson on a good performance at the moment. Oh, goodness me, Curly is trying to go up the inside, and turn one is so invited that he can run nudge as well. Curly he's back up the inside. Oh, goodness me, they're both not shy, are they, these two drivers? Had great performances from both, and now Nigel there is just getting a squeeze, but Curly has just about McLaren's width. Brilliant stuff indeed there, and they're coming into the kink down before the turn 6. He's going to send it. He has sent it. He's up the inside, and he has done it, has he? But Nigel's got up and under. Magnificent. I had a bit of a crap kangaroo angle there, and now then Curly is back on the inside. Oh my goodness, Nigel's going to be on the outside. He's got the inside. He does. Oh, contact, and Curly's damaged the car. He's damaged the car. There's end plate damage on the McLaren. Oh no, and that was great race number 2 to the final couple of corners there, and Curly dropping down the order. This is a big blow indeed for Curly, isn't it? And that is a shame then. He has damaged the car then. Welsh Maldonado right underneath the rear wing now of our compatriot Curly. That is a shame, isn't it? And look at the background there. We got oh goodness me, I don't think that was FIFA Beefy now also coming into play as well. So FIFA is going to be in a bit of trouble now. He's gone for the undercard, but of course he is going to have to of course, he's going to have to get past these cars, isn't he? Troy is 1.4 seconds back on there. Gordo and Baz there are just having an absolutely incredible race. Gamer in the pits as well. We've got Bradfield who's just dropped down behind FIFA Beefy, and of course that is how high up. Oh my word! I thought Gordo was off it. Gamer in the pits as well then. So Gamer coming in the pits and all the leaders coming in. Curly red. Luckily for Curly, he is not far off the pit window, but he probably would have liked to have stayed out longer there, and the amount of time he's lost then. So it's Gamer coming out of the pits now then. So yeah, Curly changing the nose code as well. Alright, so he's dropping. He's going to be losing. He's going to be losing a lot of time now, isn't he? Coming into the pits then, unfortunately. We're on board Serious much below, and he's a second and a quarter in front of Troy in second position now. Then Wilson 9 seconds back in third position. He's on the hard tires, of course. Sean Hammers, who thought he got the job done a couple of laps ago, is back behind Wilson now, and he's back in the dirty air of that Red Bull, isn't it? So this isn't helping Sean Hammers' race as the moment. And Nigel in fifth position. Him and Curly had an outstanding battle. Unfortunately, though, both of them cut the blows there. Nigel's got a 3-second penalty. Penalties have been very good so far in this race. Hats off to all these drivers as well. Here's Welsh Maldonado and in 8th position, then Steve in 9th position, and Steve is on the medium tires at FIFA in 10th position then, and he hasn't got 3 out just yet then because he's behind at Steve. Then there's a 2.4 second gap then between Steve and Maldonado then, and that's what FIFA would like that really. Where's Gamer right here who asks? He's come out a second and a half behind Bradfield. Gordo is defending then, so we're on board with Maldonado. She's going to go on the outside there, adjusting the settings on the steering wheel, and who's that? That's F1 2019 who's out of the race unfortunately quite early on then, so we're down to 19 cars, and Maldonado going for the old switcheroo. We've got a bit of sunshine out there. Oh goodness me, then I thought that she was going to go on the outside. Into the pits comes Troy and Serious Mush as well. Wilson takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix, and look, Welsh Maldonado's going to be on the outside going into it. This is going to get very perilous indeed then, and Welsh Maldonado is through. It's through. She's gone wide though. Gordo is defended. 5. Welsh Maldonado's going to have the inside. She does indeed then. Great manoeuvre there. Great way to line up the car. Where's Gordo? He's still on the outside. There he is then. Welsh Maldonado there getting a bit of the old back end stuff on there, but she's staying on the outside. Gordo is on the inside then. This is great battling, isn't it? I love it. There's battles here tonight. Fantastic. Maldonado there almost steered into the side there, the back end there, trying to want to step up. Maldonado has the inside line, and but Gordo just keeping on the outside. Fantastic driving from both drivers. Wow, magnificent stuff indeed then. FIFA back up into 5th now, but FIFA has gained up 3/10 of a second over this battling duo here, and there he is in the background. He is just behind the lap task car, which is not meant to be there. We also send Steve in 6th position as well. Great performance there from Steve. This is great battling up and down the field. Wilson is still leading by 7/10 of a second. Sean Hammers would love to be in front of Wilson now then, as Wilson's on the harder tire, and Sean Hammers would like to have put the hammer down. Unfortunately, that's not the case at the moment then. And look at this, Gordo's got a very quick car, hasn't he, down the back straight. We ain't even at half distance yet. It's been absolutely magnificent. Roscoe's got another 3-second penalty, and Maldonado is sending it up the inside. Oh my word, David Gordo is having none of it there, and now we got FIFA Beefy who is trying to get through as well. Serious Rusher has got past Bradfield and moved over to 8th position as well. Oh, amazing stuff indeed. And look at this, that is a Welsh Maldonado is now going to have to turn attack into the fence now, isn't she? Because look at this then, FIFA Beefy is all over the rear wing. Is he going to have a look then? Hammers is in the pits then. FIFA Beefy is going up the inside. There is Maldonado then. That is the advantage of having fresh hard tires compared to the hard tires that have been on right from the get-go as well. Oh, and brilliant stuff indeed then. Ayrton now up into 5th position as well. Serious Much now is right underneath the gearbox of Ayrton. Nigel is just go back into 11th position. I can't tell which car is what, and there's all cars all over the show here at the moment, isn't there? Ayrton is leading this Q cars. Gamer is now right underneath the rear wing of Serious Much, and then there he is, and this traffic is really hurting them. Serious Much. Roscoe is out of the race then, and that is a shame now for Roscoe. Now I think I'm not sure if he's got technical gremlins or whatnot, but he is out of the Chinese Grand Prix. What a shame now for Roscoe. On board then with Gamer at the moment, and the championship leader in a bit of a battle here tonight. He's had the last 2 races there have been quite a battle for Gamer. The first 2 races there was was not all his own win in Australia, but I think Bahrain there he was quite up indeed. Roscoe out of the race, and that's our second retirement of tonight, unfortunately. For F1 2019 also out as well. He's the first retiree as we're coming down the back straight as well. FIFA VF has got past Gordo, Welsh Maldonado. Now he has got past Gordo as well, and moved up into 2nd position. And we've also got Serious Russia getting past Ayrton as well, and Gamer going up the inside there, and Ayrton out to turn out there, so Gamer there really sprayed a surprise there on Ayrton, and Ayrton dropping down into 7th position. We're on board of Ayrton as we flick it into turn number 60 as well, and now we got Troy as well. Ayrton there is of course there, and this is of course all the hard compound runners. His time will come, and so that is how it is at the moment then. Oh, Gosh, well, with the moment there, Wilson has got a 7-second lead at the moment there. He's probably loving life out there, isn't he? He had a good qualifying through on the hard tyres there, and now he's in clear air, and he could just get the hammer down. But FIFA Beefy, this is good now for FIFA Beefy, isn't it? He's looking strong, and this is be his first Grand Prix win of ALR, and he is judged in this race absolute to perfection at the moment, isn't he? We've got Gordo in third position with Valshman in fourth. Serious Musher is now coming to the clutches of Gamer, hasn't he? Because he hasn't got through the traffic as quickly as FIFA Beefy, albeit then I think the traffic has been more condensed, so with of course strategy all over the place at this stage of proceedings. On board then with Serious Musher as well, then Troy and Gamer now very close to the back of him as well. Those are the two chasers, wasn't he, for Serious Musher? He can see him in the background. He knows he's got to get past Maldonado and Gordo quite quickly here. He's got to get his skates on here, doesn't he? Serious Musher said he would like to get the job done quite early on, but Maldonado had a great plunge, had a great run there off the off turn at number 13 there, and now then under the wheel tracks of Gordo, and look at this, she's now out of the slipstream of Gordo. Gordo is he's such a quick customer down that back straight, but Gordo is going to break much later, but Maldonado's the outside, Gordo there on the inside, and Maldonado there just getting onto the AstroTurf. We don't read that part of the circuit, and now then we got Gordo's in the pits, and Maldonado be very happy with that there, because Gordo has defended absolutely magnificently, brilliantly, but now Serious Musher there's alongside Maldonado. He is going to be through up in the front position. Indeed he is there. Can Gamer get through as well? Gamer there right underneath the rear wing there of Maldonado. He's now going to go up and under that, the World Championship leader. Indeed he does, but Maldonado's going to go, oh my goodness me, they're almost touching wheels. Fantastic there. See, it's at the fast half of the race there. Maldonado also also Troy's got through as well, but I think that well, I think that didn't look as perilous as it was between a Gamer and Maldonado. Maldonado down to 6th position there, but for goodness me. And look, Ayrton is in 7th position now. Then it's now starting to sneak up to the back there. Baz is coming up to the back of Nigel as well. Baz is looking very strong at the moment, actually. Look at this, and look at this. Baz is having a look down in turn 6, and Steve has just set the fast half of the race there, showing his pace once again here tonight there. But unfortunately, Steve has not been able to unleash that pace because he seems to always have the worst of luck here in ALR at the moment. I think I got to say, he's very much got the Mark Webber of Lux at the moment, hasn't he, Steve has? So hopefully he can shake that unlucky tag off there and really get some podiums and race wins there, which he could definitely do. Can he? Steve can. But the moment he hasn't been able to show it there is he's always had a problem in qualifying or a problem in the race thus far this season. There, Nigel's back in there. Goodness me, that's not looking very secure at all at the moment. Nigel's in there, Ball in the midfield at the moment. Baz on the back straight. Steve is also coming up behind him as well, and once again look at them all rearing onto the middle part of the circuit there as well. And Nigel there is just going, and look at this, he's trying to break the slipstream now without constantly weaving there, so that is just about enough. And oh goodness me, Steve's going to go on the inside there. He is on the inside then, but I think Baz breaking just as late and got a good old brake pedal on that AlphaTauri Baz. That was very good stuff indeed then. These cars are all on the similar or same strategy. Steve there, oh goodness me, I thought he was going to do a Giovinazzi there. Giovinazzi had a big crash there in 2017, didn't he, in his Sauber debut? I'm sorry, his second race for Sauber. Baz there still can't get past Nigel. This is a race for position though, isn't it? Lap 17 out of 28 then. So Wilson is leading then 4 seconds in front of FIFA in second. FIFA's got a second and a half advantage over himself. And Serious Mushroom in third position. We got Gamer in fourth. Troy is in fifth position there. Welshman now just dropping back slightly in sixth position. I wonder if the hard runners are now going to go into the soft tyres. I think that has to be their idea now, because we're almost at the end of this race set. Will the soft tyres do less than 10 laps? Possibly, probably, maybe. We've got Ayrton in second position, the same strategy as Wilson and Maldonado. We've got Bradfield in 8th position, also the same strategy as Ayrton, Maldonado and Wilson. We've got Sean Hammers in 9th position. 10th position is this battle between Nigel, Baz and Steve. Gordo is in 30th position in the background. There he is, Gordo. He's on fresh air, and so is Curly. He was quick before he had a tangle with Nigel earlier on this race, and so Curly might try and catch up to the back of this battle pronto then. Nigel again a very wide there out of turn number 12 and 13. Now, I think it's 13, wasn't it? FIFA has really taken the lead then. Wilson is in the pits, and of course the race leader is coming into the pits now, and let's see what he's going to do then. So he's on the medium tyres, Wilson is. So I thought he was going to go on the soft then with 10 laps to go, but maybe the softs can't do it then. That just shows, do not listen to me whatsoever. Bradfield has stayed out. We got Maldonado, and I think Ayrton's in the pits as well. Indeed he is then. They're all on the medium tyres there in the background, so it has to be the medium tyres then. And that's why I don't race, you see, because I would have thrown the soft tires and probably would have been at C then for the remainder of the race. And look at this, Nigel's being pushed around turn 1 and 2 then. Maldonado is out in 12th position there. Ayrton is down in 14th position there. Curly up into 13th position there. Curly on hard tires, and Ayrton and Maldonado on the medium tires. And Wilson, who's in a very strong 7th position at the moment there, is on the medium tires as well, so he's going to be quicker than a hiccup later on in this race as well. 10 laps to go in this race, and FIFA Beefy is leading, but the gap is down to 2.1 seconds now. So FIFA is now coming under pressure then from 3 Grand Prix winners in silver. FIFA's never won a Grand Prix, but Serious Mushroom has. He won in the Japanese Grand Prix. Gamer has won 3 Grand Prix now in silver, and Troy won his first Grand Prix last time out in Vietnam as well. So how is the experience going to compare to tonight then? So FIFA then, how is he going to repel the attack then? The 4 cars are almost within DRS range as well. Bradfield is staying out. He has extended the stint as long as possible. He's done 17 laps then on the hard tires. Lovely Shire from the rear wing of Nigel then. Look in the background there. That's Baz. That's Steve as well. And they break now into the heaviest part of the braking zone as well. Bradfield is in the pits as well. Curly has got Ayrton's got past Curly, I should say, up into 13th position then. And they come through to complete another lap. These Ballin trio, I got to say, are having a fantastic race. Now into the pits comes Bradfield, extend the stint for one more lap then. Gordo and Maldonado have renewed their rivalry because they're very much very close to each other in the background as well. But this time the shoe is on the other foot because Maldonado's on the medium tires. Gordo is on the hard tires. Maldonado is going on the outside. She's going on the outside. She's staying on the outside. And this job done, is it? She's going to have much more purchase on the medium tires. She does indeed. She is through and up into 10th position. Then Gordo dropping down to 11th position. He also has a 3-second penalty as well. But Gordo is going to lunge as the gap is open there. Maldonado is giving him space. But I think that Gordo there just couldn't get on the accelerator as quickly there because he's on the medium tires, of course. And oh goodness me then, and I think Steve's got past Baz. He has got past Baz indeed then. Whilst my attention was diverted momentarily, Nigel there defending the inside there, wandering over to the middle part of the track there. I don't think that was for defending actually. I think that Nigel there must have got distracted slightly because I'm not sure if he would have wanted to defend it that corner perhaps. And I know we've seen some lunges over there in the past, but I don't think he would have wanted to do it that time around. And look at this, we've gone from a very depressive and wet Chinese Grand Prix to a lovely track bathed in sunshine, isn't it, with just 9 laps to go in this race. Nigel then is now going to be feeling the force of Steve. There he is, he's on the outside. Nigel's going to be on the inside then. Oh, there's contact then, and I don't think there's any damage. No, there's not. Then Steve is staying on the outside. Nigel then is going to have to give way. This is the battle for 7th and 8th position there, and Nigel there is still there. Oh goodness me, I thought he was spinning then. That's great driving there. Look in the background, there's a Renault, but she has a 3-second penalty. Maldonado has a 3-second penalty. Wilson set the fastest for the race as well, just a jiffy ago. Magnificent racing here tonight, and yellow flag and free, and Alfa Romeo with Fran has gone off the circuit there at the very long turn 13 there. What a shame there for Fran, dropping down the order in the Alfa Romeo as well. So the gap at the front is stabilised at a second actually, but the Serious Mushroom has got it under a second now. Gamer is 8. Oh my goodness me! Look at the diffuser on that Ferrari. Good gosh, and if there's any aerodynamicist fans out there, take a picture. That was fantastic, wasn't it? Now we got Curly and a New Potato then getting very close for comfort then, and here is New Potato then trying to go underneath Curly. 2 top 10 runners normally, unfortunately, are near the back at this stage of proceedings. They both have damaged their cars, didn't they? In combat, they're down in 13th and 14th. Unfortunately, it's not been their day, has it? Both McLarens are out of the points at the moment as well, down in 13th and 15th positions. Gamer is now less than half a second away from Serious Mushroom then. So Gamer is now starting to turn out the weight then, and once again then Gamer is very much looking for another race win there, but and look at this, as Nigel has been thwarted. Oh, there's going to be contact. There's a bit of contact, but not too much there. Steve up into 7th position. Nigel down to 8. Baz is still in 9th then. Oh, Nigel, they're really strong on that final corner there. Ayrton has got past Gordo as well. Where's Gordo going? Goodness me, he's right off the circuit there. Gordo is that he's defending as hard as he can, but Ayrton now is on the racing line then. Is he going? He looks like the Ayrton has got, once again, Gordo has shown he's got a magnificent straight line speed in that Haas there. So he kind of just floored it when he was off the track there, didn't he? Gordo did there in a desperation to keep in front of Ayrton. We have got New Potato there and Curly Red fighting. New Potato's going to go on the outside. Is Curly going to let him go? I think that, of course, they're on the same stride then, but Curly then having the momentum. New Potato then is trying to go back on the slipstream. Remember, this is more about pride than they might have a chance of points then, with all the penalties in a Fred van there. Gordo and Welsh Welsh Maldonado both have 3 second penalties apiece then, so the points could still be on the offering for both these drivers. That's why they are fighting tooth and nail. Lovely camera work as well. Where is he? There is Curly Red. He's still got the high ground, but yeah, no, I think that gap was always going to close. That's very wise indeed there from New Potato. I think these two probably enjoyed themselves like that. Ayrton there is alongside, and just as I said, he can't overtake down in turn 12 there. I am absolutely wrong there. Ayrton there up the inside then, and he is through and passes Gordo. He is 5 seconds behind. Welsh Maldonado needs to get it under 3 seconds there to get into the points as well. But so Ayrton is I think he's on a very strong day today, isn't he? Nigel's dropped down into 9th position. There he is, and there's Maldonado in the background as well. The gap at the front is less than 3 seconds. Ayrton and Gordo are still fighting. Gordo is back up into 11th position there. Ayrton dropping back down into 12th then. And now Welsh Maldonado is under the DRS switch. She's got the DRS out on Nigel. She's going on the outside. She's got it, has she has got it, but Nigel's going to go back up and under that. But I think the job might be done then. But the turn tightens us there. Nigel trying to sneak up the inside then. But I think that Welsh Maldonado has the high ground. And there she goes, and she's now in the 9th position there. And Baz is her next target in 8th position. And the gap at the front is half a second. And once again, the Chinese Grand Prix is filling up a doozy of a race, isn't it? Magnificent performance indeed then. And my word, the top 4 are Lionel Stern now as well. We're going to get some very tasty action then. And here it is as well. There it is. Look at the 4 cars then. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ferrari, Williams, Mercedes and Renault. There they are then. We're looking backwards. Now we're looking sideways. Now we're looking forwards. Terence Marshall has taken the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix on lap 22 out of 28. And is FIFA going to let that lie? I don't think it's... Oh no! And it's Mushroom and FIFA, can the Blues Gamer takes the lead? Oh my goodness me, and FIFA is in the pits and Serious Mushroom had gone the power, and that's FIFA is damaged the car. Oh my goodness me. Gurman saying that Serious Mushroom looking good, and then he spoke too soon. What a shame. That Gamer has taken the lead with 5 laps to go here in the Chinese Grand Prix. Try a second now. Serious for FIFA is coming out of the pits now. They're changing the notes, go on the Ferrari. What a shame for FIFA. He was out a magnificent performance, and there he is coming into the pits now. Oh goodness me then. And FIFA there Serious Russian got on the power, didn't he? And just took on the power a bit too heavily there, and unfortunately because of that there he just he squirreled away, didn't he? FIFA is still in the points, so he's in 10th position there, but I don't think that's only a crumb of comfort when he was battling for the lead less than a lap ago. What a shame indeed. Ayrton's moved up to 11th position in his battle with Gordo, which doesn't seem to be going it doesn't seem to be settling anytime soon. That Grumman saying sorry, I've mushroomed, I jinxed you that as unfortunately Serious Mushroom and FIFA came the blows there. I don't think it's nothing malicious. It was very much unintentional there, but oh, what a shame it is there for FIFA. Beefy was having a magnificent performance, his best race of his career in ALR thus far. Magnificent performance indeed there from FIFA Beefy, but unfortunately he is now down in 10th position as well, and Ayrton's got a 3-second penalty as well. Look at Gamer and Troy now battling for this then as we've just caught the end of this. Remember, these two were battling wheel to wheel in Vietnam, and of course they came to blows at the final lap there, didn't they? And now Troy has switched to the inside there, and look at this, and he's alongside there. There's also Serious Mushroom as well. Gamer is back behind him now, and Troy leads the Chinese Grand Prix. And a lap or two ago, I didn't think that was going to happen there, but it's incredible how quickly This game changes on a dime, doesn't it? We got yellow flags of racing pointers in trouble. It's limping home at the moment now, down in, I think that's, I'm not sure if that's RDW or Diashi, but both of them are having a bit of a nightmare. Troy leads the Grand Prix now then. Magnificent performance from Troy. Gamer in second, but it's that Serious Mushroom is in third then in the Williamson, and there in the background there is, I think it's Fran, who is a lap down, unfortunately. Sean Hammer's in fourth position. Wilson is now coming on strong in fifth position. He's on a magnificent drive. Steve, driver of the day from 20th to 6th there. Welsh Maldonado 7th. Bars is in 8th position. 9th position is Nigel. 10th position is FIFA Beefy. Just outside the points is Ayrton. 11th, Gordon 12th. Bradfield in 13th with Potato 14th. Curly 15th. Diashi 16th. RDW 17th. Fran is 18th. Only 2 retirements. Roscoe and of course F1 2019 all out of this Chinese Grand Prix, and no safety cars either. Fantastic performance there. Gamer is starting to drop back. Troy has been released, hasn't he, and is now really putting his toe down. Serious Mercenary is on the back of the World Championship leader there. At the moment the gap in the championship is almost double the points of the second place car. That is going to come down considerably buddy in this race, and it's going to be a 7-point swing as it stands at the moment then. Of course, don't ask me to do the maths there because my maths is absolutely appalling, isn't it? As we're now coming across the line once again, and Troy is leading there by 6/10 of a second. Gamer is still in the DRS range then. We have got Serious Rusher in third. That is the top 3 of the Chinese Grand Prix. We've got Sean Hammers there in fourth position there, but he's got Wilson there, who is very much right under the gearbox of the Mercedes driver. We got Steve in a magnificent 6th position then. We're on board once again. FIFA is now there, is now starting to really push the limits of those soft tyres. He is going to be quite quick as well, and there he is. He sets the fastest up the race, which is no crumb of comfort for FIFA Beefy at this stage of proceedings. Back on board then with Gamer. He's really strong at this stage of proceedings on those hard tyres. He's done one more lap than the drivers around him. Maybe that one more lap is crucial. This is a very much a tyre breaker, isn't it? FIFA has got past Nigel there. He's just got much more traction on the soft tyres. His next target is Baz, 2 seconds up the road. Bradfield and Gorda having a ding dog of a battle in 12th and 13th position. Magnificent performance there between those two cars. At the moment Bradfield does have the high ground. Gorda's been in some magnificent battles today. Unfortunately, he's not going to get any rewards for it because he's currently out of the points at the moment. And then Gamer there is just dropping off the back of Troy. He's still in DRS, just about. Look at that, then he's 3/10 of a second away then. But Troy is inching out that gap now, isn't he? And I think when the DRS goes for Gamer, he might be in some serious trouble because this man Mushroom could potentially get himself back up into second then as well. Mushroom had a good start to the his championship campaign this season. Very impressive stuff indeed there from Serious Mushroom. Of course, I think he had a podium already this season, hasn't he? He's done a very strong start into the season for Serious Mushroom. In the background there is Alpha Romeo. Sean Hammers is still under the cosh, isn't he? From Wilson at the moment there. Wilson there is 6/10 of a second back at the moment there, but Sean Hammers is doing a magnificent job in the second Mercedes in 4th position. Wilson now is trying to have a go on the inside, but that door is always closing. Staying at 6th position at the moment. Then Gordo is now battling with New Patel. I'm thinking Gordo's tyres look absolutely spent, and indeed they are then. I wonder if he's got damage on that car, Gordo, but he is coming in the pits there. What a shame now from Gordo. He was having I've got to say, he's had a very fine race, hasn't he? He's been in the action more or less all the time. New Patel in 13th position there with Curly in a 14th position as well. So Gordo coming in the pits there. He's got to throw the set of soft tyres, I think, and go for some quality laps now until the end of the race. FIFA's now at 6/10 of a second away from Baz, and Baz is 2 seconds behind Welsh Maldonado as well. FIFA's trying to claw back as many points as possible, but he is going to be absolutely devastated with tonight there. Qualifying his first pole position, potentially his first Grand Prix win as well. Unfortunately, Serious Mushroom tried to go for the lead there, and he spun up his rear wheels. That damaged the FIFA VV's car. Then when he went to the back of the Williams because he expected Serious Mushroom to be a lot quicker on the just at this corner here. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it? On board then with Wilson at the moment, so I'm absolutely spent now. I'm not sure about these drivers. Goodness me. Wilson have a look on the inside then, but Sean Hammers is not going to wave him through, is he? Not by any stretch of the imagination. And it's the battle for 12 points as well. And FIFA going up the inside of Baz. There he is, and he is up the inside on those soft tyres. Baz there is trying to fight it, and I think the Baz doing a great job actually, because I thought that would have been job done. It is job done now then, and FIFA, his next target is 2.5 seconds up the road with just 2 laps to go then. FIFA there flying on those soft tyres then. So I think he might be able to get Welsh Maldonado. Might catch up to the back of Welsh Maldonado, but I don't think he's going to get past with a lap to go then. Troy is still leading this race, and he's going for 2 race wins in 2 Grand Prix, but the job is not done, because look, in the background is a 3-time Grand Prix winner of Gamer. There is the most experienced driver in silver history of Cirrus Mushroom. He has not missed a single Grand Prix of the silver, in silver ever in ALR, as Cirrus Mushroom is actually starting his 46th Grand Prix start tonight as well. He's only 4 away from the big 50 there for Cirrus Mushroom. And he's using all that experience tonight then to great effect, isn't he? Good stuff indeed. That is, and we're now back on board then. Lovely over the shoulder shot can with Gamer. He is leading the championship, isn't he? So he's going to be in championship mode surely. Yes, we're only on round 4, but these points could be major, could be crucial later on in the season, and you never know what can happen. Remember, like this time last season, Murphy had 3 Grand Prix wins in a row, and he definitely looked nailed on for the World Championship, didn't he? But Gurman swooped in, didn't he? And of course, that middle part of the season there was magnificent for Gurman's point of view, and of course in this race as well actually it was Pillars, Pillars who was just been promoted to a full-time silver driver, really got his first win on his belt in quite incredible circumstances as well, which also put the pressure on Murphy as well. And of course last season silver was a tale of almost 3-4 halves. There was a completely different seasons, wasn't it? Impressive indeed. There were so many championship competitors last season. This season now I think it looks like a much more structured championship battle, doesn't it, between Troy A Gamer. I'll even throw in Cirrus Mushroom, and today I think FIFA Beefy, yes it's a very early championship, but I think FIFA Beefy has really staked a claim as well here in China. Oh, and Mushroom's off the circuit there, and he just took too much momentum. That has let Gamer very much off the hook there on the final lap. Then Cirrus Mushroom had one more chance of maybe getting second. Gordo set the fastest lap of the race, but of course he would have no bonus point, of course, because he's out of the top 10 then, as we're on the final lap now. And Troy is going for his 2nd Grand Prix win of his career here in silver then, in front of Gamer. Gamer, I think he's had a great race today, Gamer, and he'll be very happy. Look at that, he's got no errors at all, so he's on board with Troy. Magnificent performance as well. Troy out of turn 14, and of course 15 you can ignore, and Troy won his first Grand Prix last week. Now he's going to win his 2nd Grand Prix in 2 weeks then, and Troy wins the Chinese Grand Prix. Fantastic performance there from Troy. 3 times a second in front of Gamer in 2nd position there. Oh no, amazing stuff. The Gamer in 3rd, down and smashing in then. Cirrus Mushroom in 4th position there as well. And who's gone off? France gone off in a major way there. And in 5th position is Wilson there. And look at that, then there's cars all across the circuit, and they've got to be careful here. Steve in 6th position. Well, Maldonado in 7th. FIFA is 7th. And Welsh is Maldonado is 8th. Baz in 9th. And who's going to be 10th? And Moni is Nigel. Ayrton is going to be just outside the points in 11th position as well. What a shame then for what a shame then for Ayrton, Curly, New Potato and Bradfield, Gordo, Diashi, RDW as well. They all had a very tough race there, out there, didn't they? But here is Troy, 2nd Grand Prix win in 2 weeks there. He's on magnificent form. 2 Grand Prix wins for Gamer, 2 Grand Prix wins for Troy. Wow, what a start to silver. There's definitely more to come, isn't there, this season? But magnificent performance indeed then. It's Gamer in 2nd and Cirrus Mushroom in 3rd, and that potentially might be the story of the season here in silver. But there is a long way to go, definitely. I think I'll just sing about driver of the day as well. Steve probably gets driver of the day then for 12 to 6 yards. Once again, a magnificent performance for Steve. You can never discount Steve out. But I would also say that FIFA BP this event tonight was absolutely magnificent and deserved a lot more than that, didn't he? And it's just a bit unfortunate. There was a racing incident, but he's still not going to feel any better about that one whatsoever, is he? And the driver of the day then, I think, would be not a surprise that Steve had a magnificent performance, didn't he? From 20th on the grid there, up in 2-6 position now, and good haul of points for the Red Bull team as well, with Wilson in 5th position. Great stuff indeed then. Diashi very happy as he made those intermediates, made those medium tires go 18 laps, and brilliant stuff indeed then. Gunnar saying congratulations Troy, well done gamer. Mushroom, great race from the Silver Lads, I think that says. But Troy, 2 wins in 2 weeks then. So 2 wins for Troy, 2 wins for Gamer. That is the headline then coming out of China then. After 4 rounds then, it's 2 apiece then for the 2 championship protagonists. Brilliant stuff indeed then. And here is the final classification then from the Chinese Grand Prix. Troy A from 7th on the grid won the race and his 2nd Grand Prix win in a row. Gamer finished 2nd today. I think those are some very good points gained there. Serious Mushroom in 3rd position. 4th position is Sean Hammers with Wilson. A very good performance in 5th today. Steve from 20th to 6th. Magnificent stuff. FIFA Beefy. Manu's on pole position there. Potentially should have got a podium at least today. Very disappointed to be down in 7th after the late collision with Serious Mushroom. 8th position was Welsh Maldonado. 9th position was Baz. Nigel finished in the top 10 as well. Ayrton just outside the points in 11th position. Bradfield in 12th position there. New Patel 13th. Curly 14th. Gordo fast up in 15th. Diashi and RDW 16th and 17th. Retirements Fran F-Wood 2019 and Roscoe retired then from this Chinese Grand Prix. And now I've been joined in the gantry now by our rostrum holders, the podium sitters, and let's start off with the man who's now got 2 race wins in 2 races. Troy, of course, had a breakout win last time in Vietnam, but you've come here today, a much more different proposition there, but you've done it again, 2 for 2.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that, to be honest, after the qualifying. I started 7th, I think. So it was pretty difficult, but as in Hanoi, I got past a few cars in the first lap, which made it a bit easier to continue towards the victory, I guess.
And you was a bit. I got to say, I think your first 2 Grand Prix wins have been slightly further back on the grid, around the row 3-4 mark. It seems like you like starting there at the moment because you seem to get on the podium or get the race wins there.
To be honest, I don't mind attacking and going a bit more aggressive on people, but yeah, I wouldn't mind starting first on the grid either, and yeah, just have clean air ahead of me. So yeah, I think as long as I stay around in the top 5 or so in the qualifying, I think I always have a chance of winning, but of course I'd prefer to be higher up in the grid when it comes to qualifying.
And talking about being higher up in the grid, there's a magnificent 4-way scrap towards the end there between yourself, Serious Mushroom, and X-Gamer, and FIFA Beefy as well. But did you think that you was going to be able to win from where you were with like a couple laps to go?
I think it was very open for who could have won, honestly. We had a great 4-way battle. And yeah, it continued onwards, and we had a great 3-way battle after that as well. I was most of the race I was just staying behind, harvesting a bit and just try to see how it played out. And as I predicted, some guys ahead would collide or start battling, and I took my opportunity and got up to 2nd, and then it was just trying to hunt down Gaming from that.
And really well done indeed. 2 wins on the trot now, and I've got to say, before the start of this race, I knew it was almost double the points behind Gamer, but 2 race wins in a row going on to the Dutch Grand Prix in a week's time. How are you feeling?
Ooh, I like the track a lot, actually. I know the strategy there, and I'm pretty solid in quality there as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll have a good race there.
Really good stuff. Well done, Troy. A magnificent performance as well. Congratulations for the double race win in 2 weeks. Magnificent performance. Let's come to Serious Mushroom, who is finished for today. Gamer can't do the interview today, unfortunately, but congratulations to Gamer on his second on his podium here today. Serious Mushroom, you finished 3rd in the end today, but you had a magnificent qualifying. You was looking amazing in the wet.
Yeah, I quite like the track, so I felt all right. And I don't mind being in the wet neither, to be honest. So probably played into my favour a bit. But fair play to especially Beefy for getting pole. That was amazing. So
It really was indeed. Unfortunately, you and FIFA did come to blows towards the end of that race as well. It looks like you lost traction and FIFA went to the back of you there. Is that how it happened?
Yeah, I just couldn't get the power down. I apologise to him as well. Well, I will do, because it's not how I want it to end. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't catch him on the straights, and he had like the upper hand on me. Saying, "Look, whatever, these things happen. It's not meant. I didn't mean it on purpose. You know what I mean? That happens."
Yeah, it's racing, especially when you had 4 cars battling so hard for the race win. Unfortunately, sometimes you do cut the blows out. But I think the start of the season, I think you've had a very good start to the season. This season, and what is your aspirations then going forward? And of course, this is your first podium, I think it is, of the season. Then, but how are you feeling going forward?
To be honest with you, like last season, it took me ages to get a podium, didn't it? It took me a really long time, but I think this year I just want to get some points for Williams. The main focus really is the overall constructors. But, you know, I mean, whatever I can get, I'll take, and a podium is brilliant for me. So.
Brilliant stuff indeed. Well done, Serious Mushroom. Well done to everyone who finished today as well. Once again, only 2 retirements in silver. Goodness me. I've got to say, the retirement rate in silver is very low indeed. Right, as we mentioned then, we're on to the Dutch Grand Prix in a week's time then. Looking forward to that one. We had a great race last season in silver, was it? Ghost came out on top in the end by the merest of margins there, by half a tenth in the end. Was it incredible stuff indeed. We'll see you next Sunday, 7:30 UK time. Goodbye.